From Hollywood, California, the LUX Radio Theatre presents Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson in The Count of Monte Cristo.
LUX presents Hollywood. Our stars, Robert Montgomery, Josephine Hutchinson, Lewis Stone, Lloyd Nolan, Sidney Blackmer, and Paul Lucas. Our special guest, Mr. Alton Cook, radio editor of the New York World Telegram. The LUX Radio Theatre Orchestra is conducted by Louis Silvers. This program comes to you with the good wishes of the makers of Lux Flakes, those mild, pure flakes that leave your hands so soft and lovely. Try Lux for your dishes, and you'll see what I mean. It protects your hands in the dishpan and helps them stay smooth and white, lovely to look at. And it's so inexpensive doing dishes this way. A little goes so far. Lux is thrifty. Now, the producer of the Lux Radio Theatre. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. As fantastic and unpredictable as the Count of Monte Cristo himself was the genius who created him, Alexandre Dumas. A writer of amazing energy and monumental achievements, he often displayed a childish vanity and delighted to be known as a man of the world, a Beau Brummel. To protect his pride, he once fought a duel, attacking his opponent furiously, while with his free hand he struggled to hold up his trousers, which persisted in slipping down. For a pet, he selected a vulture, parading him on the streets like a peacock, until the vicious bird turned on him and took a piece out of his leg. Dumas made fortune after fortune, threw each one blissfully away, and died penniless. His novel, The Count of Monte Cristo, appeared only a few months after The Three Musketeers. It was like writing an Anthony Adverse and following it up with Gone with the Wind. In play form, Monte Cristo ran here and abroad for 39 years. Twice a motion picture, The Count of Monte Cristo comes to you with a star-spangled cast, headed by Robert Montgomery. His ability to assume a wide range of character types makes him one of the screen's most applauded actors, and especially equipped for the title role tonight. From Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studio, his latest picture is Fast and Loose. As Mercedes, we welcome back a superb artist in Josephine Hutchinson. Louis Stone, beloved veteran of countless films, is Abbe Faria. And our trio of conspirators is composed of those three experts, Lloyd Nolan as Danglars, Sidney Blackmer as Mondego, and Paul Lucas in the role of de Villefort. And now for the play. The Lux Radio Theatre presents Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson in The Count of Monte Cristo, with Lloyd Nolan, Sidney Blackmer, and Paul Lucas. The year is 1815. Napoleon, overwhelmingly defeated at Leipzig, has been exiled to the island of Elba. But still the figure of the little Corsican looms like a giant specter over all Europe. And Louis XVIII, perching perilously on the throne of France, trembles at each new report of plots to restore the emperor. Through all the countryside has gone the king's command, death or imprisonment to all who support the cause of Bonaparte. But still the plots go on. Just before sundown, on a day early in the year, Napoleon, in his quarters at Elba, is finishing an audience with a tall young man, uniformed as an officer of the French Merchant Marine.
And you will deliver this letter to Monsieur Nautier in Marseille. He will make himself known to you by the one word, Elba.
I understand, Your Majesty. But how will this man know me?
He will be seeking the captain of the French ship, Pharaon.
But I'm not captain, sire. Not officially. Captain Leclerc died at sea 2 days ago. As first mate, naturally, I assumed command.
Oh, no matter. Nautier will find whoever was acting captain when the Pharaon stopped at Elba. One more thing, monsieur. Dantes, you said the name was?
Edmond Dantes, sir.
Why are you here?
It was Captain Leclerc's last order, sire. He commanded me to stop at Elba, and in his name perform whatever service Your Majesty might require.
Then it's your dead captain that you serve in this case, and not Napoleon. Is that it, Dantes?
Your Majesty, I'm a sailor. My study has been the sea, not politics.
The diplomacy of a Talleyrand. Well, your loyalty is not important. Your honesty is. I want that letter delivered.
It will be, Your Majesty. You may depend on it. top gallant sail. Helmsman, put about to ride before the gale.
Aye, aye, sir. Will we ever see Marseille again, Monsieur Dandies?
Oh, don't be a fool, man. The Pharaon loves the storm. I'll be in my cabin if you need me.
Aye.
Oh,
Danglars.
Dantes, I've been waiting to see you.
Yes? Well, you'll usually find me on the bridge during a gale.
I thought it might be better to see you here. I don't like out riding before the wind like this, Dantes. It's too dangerous. Now, if Leclerc had named me captain when he died...
He didn't. I'm in command, and I'll give the orders I think best. Good night, Danglars.
Good night. Oh, by the way, here's a letter I found just now on the floor.
Oh, thank you. Are you sure you found it, Monsieur Danglars?
I'm quite sure. But if you're turning the Pharaon into a mail ship, Captain Dantes, you should at least be careful with the cargo from Elba.
Fernand, what news? Is there any word from the Pharaon?
None, Mercedes. I saw Monsieur Morel, the owner. He's given up hope. It's useless, Mercedes, believe
But
me.
it can't be. Ships have been late before.
As late as this? Why deceive yourself? The Pharaon was heavily laden. Not in a dozen years has there been such a storm. She was...
Please, Fernand. Don't you suppose I haven't thought of all that? Every day, every night.
Mercedes, I know it's not the time to speak, but through all these months, whenever I have spoken of my love for you, you've refused to listen. It was Edmond Dantes who stood between us. But now, Mercedes, if the Pharaon doesn't come back, tell me at least that I may hope.
I don't know, Fernand. I can't think of that now.
Mercedes, give me your word. Promise me that if Dantes does not come back, you'll be my wife.
Perhaps, Fernand. Perhaps in time Listen. A ship in the harbor. It's the Pharaon and Edmund. It must be. It must be.
Welcome, Edmond. Welcome. My thanks to you for bringing the Pharaon safely home.
Thank you, Monsieur Morel. I only wish Captain Leclerc...
He died at sea, Edmond. A sailor can't ask more.
No, sir.
And you, Danglars, welcome. Is the cargo in good condition?
Yes, Monsieur Morel, as well as might be expected after a trip like that.
Well, you're here, and the cargo's safe. That's all that matters.
Perhaps. But we'd have missed that storm altogether if we hadn't stopped at Elba.
You stopped at Elba? At whose command?
At Dantes.
At Captain Leclerc's. The order was his, sir.
Then you were right to stop.
Edmund.
Mercedes.
Edmund, my darling. It's you, alive and well and strong.
You doubt it.
Edmund, stop. Let me down. Edmund. Forgive him, Monsieur Morel. The man's a little mad.
Well, he's not the only one. Dante, every day for the last 6 months, this girl has pestered me for news when you'd be home.
Monsieur Morel.
Well, he's here now. His time is yours. Go ahead, Captain Dante. Captain. From now on, you remain in command of the Pharaon.
Monsieur Morel.
Now, don't talk to me. Talk to him.
This orchard, Edmund. Remember?
Remember?
I think I came here every day while you were gone. I used to lie under the trees and look up at the sky, wondering where you were and what you were thinking of at the moment. And then later the leaves dried and began to fall. I was sad at that, and happy, too, because I knew somehow that before the leaves came back, we'd be here together, you and I.
Oh, Mercedes, if you knew the things that were on my lips to say. But now that I'm with you, I can't find words.
I know.
The nights I've lain aloft in the rigging and discussed your beauty with the stars, or times of storm when I've stood in the prow and shouted your name into the gale, daring it to carry my voice to you. It was a kind of torture to be away from you.
I felt that, too.
And are you afraid of it, Mercedes?
Afraid?
There will be other voyages of the Pharaon, and other storms, and times we don't arrive when we're expected. Perhaps even, well, I hadn't meant to say it this way, but...
Oh, Edmund, of course I'll be afraid. Every time you sail, my heart will turn to stone till you sail back again. That doesn't matter, because I'll never doubt. Because I'll always know that you will come back.
Mercedes,
to Monsieur Fernand Mondego. You are invited to be present tomorrow night at the betrothal feast of Edmond Dantes and Mercedes Rosas, to be held at the Café La Reserve with Monsieur Morel as patron.
That's enough, Danglars.
Well, very well, but if you won't read your own invitation, somebody ought to read it for you. You know, you amuse me, Mondego. Now, it's bad enough to be a rejected suitor. It's even worse to look like one. Another drink?
No.
I was just wondering, who's the king's representative in Marseille now?
A man named de Villefort. Why?
You know him?
I've met him.
Ambitious?
I suppose so.
And loyal to the king?
Of course.
And I wonder what Monsieur de Villefort would do if two good citizens, say you and I, for example, were to come to him with information concerning a certain young captain, recently arrived in Marseille, who stopped en route at Elba.
Elba? What are you talking about? You mean Dantes?
Well, that's better, Mondego. Much better. Why, you look positively alive again.
Is it the wine, Mercedes, or is it you? I've never danced better in my life.
I'm hoping that you'll improve when you get rid of your sea legs.
Oh, you hear that? Treachery. And from my own betrothed.
Captain Dantes.
Yes?
A gentleman wishes to speak with you outside.
Well, invite him in.
He said it was private. He asked for the captain of the Pharaon.
Oh. Excuse me, Mercedes. I'll be right back. Good evening, my friend.
Good evening. You, are the captain of the Pharaon?
I am. Well, what is it?
Elba.
Oh. Yes, I've been expecting you. I have the letter with me. Here.
Thank you. Good night, monsieur.
Good night.
You, back so soon, Edmond?
Monsieur Morel, you remember the letter I mentioned to you from Elba?
Oh, delivered?
Delivered.
I'm glad. You were right to obey Leclerc's orders. But it's good that the letter is out of your hands.
Edmond Dantes here. Captain Edmond Dantes.
I am Edmond Dantes.
In the name of the King's magistrate, you are under arrest.
Edmond.
It's all right, Mercedes. What is the charge, officer?
Suspicion of bearing treasonable information from the usurper, Bonaparte.
That charge is absurd.
Monsieur de Villefort will decide that.
Edmond, I'm afraid.
Nonsense. Here. Treasure that kiss. In half an hour, there'll be another to match it. I'm ready, officer.
Edmond!
You arrested both of them?
Yes, Monsieur de Villefort. We have the old man who received the note and the young officer who gave it to him.
Good. I'll see the old one first.
Yes, monsieur. The prisoner, monsieur.
Good evening, Monsieur de Villefort.
You?
Monsieur de Villefort, is something wrong?
No. Get up. I will examine the prisoner alone.
Yes, monsieur.
Meddling again. I thought you were in Paris.
No. I'm in Marseille, held prisoner by my own son. Amusing, isn't it?
Do you realize that if the king learned that my father is an active agent for Bonaparte...
That you'd be in danger? That you'd lose your office and possibly even more? Of course I realize it, my son. And that is why the king will not learn, if you can prevent it.
I'll see that you are escorted safely back to Paris. But you must be careful, do you understand? And above all, don't use the name de Villefort.
A fair enough bargain for your protection. Thank you, my son.
You rang, monsieur?
Escort the prisoner to Sergeant Craneux. I'll give him full instructions later.
Very good, monsieur.
And send in the other prisoner.
Good night, my most noble magistrate.
Send in the other prisoner.
Edmond Dantes, captain of the Pharaon?
Yes.
Dantes, you are accused of carrying a message from Elba, plotting treason against your king. What have you to say?
Only that in carrying that message, monsieur, I was carrying out the orders of my superior, Captain Leclerc. I knew nothing about the contents of the letter.
Really? And the man to whom you delivered the letter, what was his name?
I don't know.
Could you describe him?
Perfectly. It was about your height.
Never mind. You say your captain ordered you to stop at Elba.
Where is that captain?
Dead.
How convenient.
But any member of the crew could vouch for what I say.
They could? Monsieur Danglars, perhaps?
Why, yes. Yes, I'm sure that Danglars knew that I...
Come in, Danglars.
Danglars. Mondego.
Danglars, Monsieur Dantes has just told me that in stopping at Elba, he was obeying the orders of Captain Leclerc. Do you confirm that statement?
I do not. The order to stop at Elba was given by Dantes himself. Leclerc's last command had been to make directly for Marseille.
Danglars, you're mistaken.
I have no reason to lie.
Nor have I.
Monsieur Mondego, have you any reason to believe that Dantes is unjustly accused?
Well, Mondego, tell him.
The accusation is just. Dantes has long been a Bonapartist. His fiancée, Mercedes de Rosas, confessed it to me.
That's a lie. He's lying. They're both lying. Oh, I see it now. They informed on me from the first. Listen to me, Monsieur de Villefort, and understand. Danglars lied because he wants to be captain in my place. Mondego because of Mercedes de Rosas. You can't take their word.
I've heard enough. Guard.
Monsieur?
You will escort this prisoner to the Chateau d'If.
The Chateau d'If? But that's for condemned prisoners. I have a right to
You've
trial.
had your trial.
Come along.
Wait. Monsieur de Villefort, why you do this, I do not know. But someday I shall. Mondego, Danglars, your reasons I understand, and I'll remember.
Take him away.
And you'll see me again, I warn you. Though I may rot in the Chateau d'If, you have my word I'll find a way to meet you. All of you.
The curtain falls on the first act of The Count of Monte Cristo with Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson. And in a few moments, we'll go on with Act Two. But first, during our brief intermission, we bring you another scene from the lives of that lovable family, the Brownings. It's late afternoon, and Mother is reading in the living room. The front door bursts open, and in comes 16-year-old Dot, home from a shopping trip.
Mother! Oh, Mother, where are you?
In here, Dot, in the living room.
Oh, Mother, I've just bought Midge's birthday present. It's simply darling.
Oh, do let me see it, dear.
Look, it's a blue organdy sweater. Isn't it the coziest thing you ever saw?
Oh, Dot, why, it's just adorable. But, dear, that isn't organdy. It's Angora. And I do hope Midge will take care of it.
Oh, Mother, I'll die if she ever dares to rub it with cake soap. Oh, if she'll only remember to use Lux.
Well, now, let's see. Perhaps we could give her a little reminder.
Oh, yes. Maybe we could put it in a little jingle, the way we did with Mary Lou's present.
Why, that's the very thing. Something like this. Oh, Midgie, Lux this fluffy bit, so it will keep its cozy fit.
Oh, Mother, that's darling. Oh, Midgie, Lux this fluffy bit, so it will keep its cozy fit. We'll say it every time she wears the sweater.
And then she can't forget.
It's careless washing that makes sweaters shrink. Wool fibers are tender. They can't stand rubbing or the harmful alkali in strong soaps. Lux Flakes have no harmful alkali to hurt the sensitive wool fibers or fade colors. They keep your nice woolens, your sweaters, scarves, and socks new-looking longer. This same thing is true of your silks and rayons. Lux is so mild and pure, it won't harm fibers or colors that are safe in water alone. And now, Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of The Count of Monte Cristo, starring Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson, with Louis Stone, Lloyd Nolan, Sidney Blackmer, and Paul Lucas. 8 years have passed. 8 years of living death for Edmond Dantes, lying forgotten in a dungeon of the Chateau d'If. Time has made great changes in the man. Fury and hope are gone, and there remains but bitterness and an abyss of despair as all-enfolding as the black silence in which he lives. There's one further step to madness, and on the brink of that stands the shadow of the man called Dantes. The dungeon rats are his only companions. He speaks to them, anxious for the sound of his own voice.
Listen. Listen, my friends. You hear? The guard is coming. Our dinner. A veritable banquet, my friends.
Just put it on the floor, my good man. I'm not hungry, but my friends, the rats, will eat with me.
Won't you, Mondego? And Danglars. And look at de Villefort. He's getting fat.
Guard. Guard. What year is it? Tell me. In God's name, tell me. Speak to me. One word. Just one word. Guard. Guard, listen. You hear that? That water. Drip. 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 There, where it falls under the stone. It goes forever like that. It will drive me mad. God, you're human yourself. Can you imagine what it means? The darkness in that water, beating against your brain. Stop it! Stop it!
You'll take things as they are, 27.
Don't call me that. My name is Dantes. Edmund Dantes.
Ah, you're mad. Edmund Dantes is dead. It's on the records.
Dead? Dead?
Killed while trying to escape.
Killed? Then who am I?
Number 27. That's who you are. Another animal to feed.
Guard! Guard, come back! That's not true! Whatever that record says, I am Dantes. Forget the water, forget everything, but tell them I'm alive! De Villefort lied! I am Dantes! I am Dantes! I am Dantes! Dead. 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 Name of heaven. God. God, is that you? God! God! Who is that? Where are you? Behind this wall? Beneath the floor? Here? Are you a prisoner? Answer me. There's someone there. Alive, there's someone there. I'll help. I'll help you dig. Through. Help. Come out. My hand. Take my hand. Well, why don't you speak? You can speak, can't you?
Yes. Yes, I can speak. Another cell. 6 years I burrow through a wall of rock, hoping to reach safety, and my tunnel ends in a cell.
I'm sorry, comrade, for your sake, but glad for my own. To see another human being, to feel the warmth of his hand, to talk.
I know. But I shall find freedom. For now I'll have your youth to help me. Who are you, my son?
I am Edmund Dantes.
And I am the Abbé Faria. The mad priest, they call me here.
Mad? You?
Oh, it is convenient. Even a prison guard must feel pity for a mad old man. How long have you been here?
I don't know. They brought me here in February 1815.
8 years? This is the 7th of June, 1823.
8 years? Then I'm still young. You know the date. How?
When you see my cell, you'll understand.
We'll go there now.
Now, wait. And if the guard should pass, your bed there empty.
But yours now.
Well, I'm sleeping on it, or so it appears. A dummy, my son, made of blankets and straw. And there must be one here for you. I'll show you. Meanwhile, tell me why you're here. Are you innocent? Remember, I am a man of God.
I am innocent, Father. Believe me.
Tell me.
I was first mate of the ship Pharaon. My captain, Captain Leclerc, was dying. He called me. And they brought me here. Since then, save for the guard, I've seen no living soul except yourself.
And that is all.
But for one thing. I learned from the guard that to the world outside, Edmund Dantes is dead.
Naturally, my son.
Naturally?
You'd think this man de Villefort would have risked investigation. It was so simple for him to certify he was dead. But it is better so. That certificate may serve you well when you're free.
Free? Abbe Faria, there is hope of escape.
I'm sure of it. One of two routes from my cell is certain to lead to the outer wall. This one was wrong. The other cannot be.
Freedom. To know at last my revenge. To stand before de Villefort, Danglars, Mondego.
Stop, Dante. Stop. You fool. You miserable animal. Groveling here in darkness, nursing your revenge. If you could see yourself chained, not just in body, but in mind and soul.
What do you mean?
Come to my cell. I'll show you.
It's unbelievable, Father. A candle, matches, the digging tools, the drawings on the walls.
And all of it, Dantes, because my mind is not in chains. The candles, made from beef fat in my food. The matches, broom twigs dipped in sulfur that I wheedle from the guard. A skin ailment. The mad priest, remember. They can humor me. So with the bits of chalk and carbon for these drawings on the wall.
But what are they?
You don't know, but you shall. Formula. The basis of all the sciences. There, quotations from the great literature of the world. Inscribed in different forms upon these walls, you'll find the sum total of man's knowledge.
It's not possible, Father. Not in this darkness alone.
You've seen but a part of what I've done and what I can do. What we can do.
We?
Yes, our tools are crude. Our task long, but that is fortunate, my son. For it will take long to make you worthy of your freedom. All that I know I shall teach you, and when your freedom comes, you shall go forth into the world with the mind, the body, and the soul of a Superman. You will serve Edmond Dantes, not as another horseman of the apocalypse, but as an avenging angel doing the work of God.
And if your lunar observations are correct, 2 months from tonight will be the highest tide of the year. The water will seep through the crevice and unloosen the rocks. Our tunnel will be through.
11 years of digging. It has not been in vain, my son, but we must not grow too anxious, and we must continue with our studies. You will be glad on your day of freedom.
On our day, Father.
No, Edmond, not on mine.
Father.
Haven't you wondered that for 4 days now you have worked without my help?
But what of it? A temporary stiffness in your arm?
Not temporary. My arm is paralyzed.
Paralyzed?
A stroke. It happened 4 nights ago. I told you nothing, hoping the effects would pass, but they won't. You must escape alone, my son.
And leave you? I'll carry you. On my shoulders.
How far could you swim with such a weight? You see, you must go by yourself.
I won't. I swear by the mind, by the soul that you have given me, I'll never leave you here alone.
My son, you're worthy of all my trust. Come, Dantes, back to my cell. There's something like... Millions, Edmond. Unnumbered millions. The whole of the Spada fortune. Mine.
Spada fortune? I've heard of that, but it's been lost for centuries.
Yes, except to me. I know where it's to be found. I was the secretary to the last of the Spada family. At his death, I became his heir. And after his death, among the manuscripts of the Spada library, I found a scroll. The key to the lost treasure.
And where is it?
On the island of Monte Cristo.
Monte Cristo? I know it well. There's nothing there, nothing but rocks.
There is a fortune there, Edmond. A fortune which but to find is to own the world. And you shall find it.
I?
There will be another attack, my son. And soon an attack that I shall not survive. Then you must go alone. And for your loyalty and out of my love for you, you are to be my heir.
Father, how can I thank you?
Edmond, listen. The key to the treasure, you must learn it well. I have destroyed the scroll, but engraved its contents on my brain. So it must be on yours. Now listen, and listen carefully, so that you will not forget. A jutting rock at the island's eastern point. Walk 20 paces north, then west. A rock appearing solid that will move. A hollow wall in the far corner to be broken through. A dark chamber in the grotto. A chest upon the floor. And the world is yours. Now listen again and again 100 times. The time shall come and you must not forget. A jutting rock at the island's eastern point.
A jutting rock at the island's eastern point.
Edmond. Edmond. Quick.
Father Thaddeus.
Ah, here at last. I had to keep alive.
Let me help you.
No, it is over. Last night the stroke I knew would come. And now, my son, listen. Your way of escape. I see it now.
It doesn't matter now, Father.
Hear me, Edmond. The cemetery of the Chateau d'If is the sea, Edmond. And so, when I die, you must scream as though it were myself. They'll come and find me dead and shroud me in a sack. Then, at sundown, they will return to throw my body from the prison wall. But you must take my place inside that sack. Do you hear? You in the sack. It will be you that they throw from the wall into the sea. Freedom, Edmond.
Father, I won't.
Do as I say, my son. Take my place inside the sack. And remember, I've given you all knowledge, fortune. You must be an angel of justice. Oh, Edmond, this means freedom for us both. It is so beautiful.
Father. Father. My only friend.
Found the one sure way of leaving the Chateau d'If.
Did you tie him in the sack yet?
This morning. Here's the cell. You take his head, and I'll take his feet.
He's heavy for an old man, isn't he?
It didn't seem this heavy this morning. Oh, well, perhaps he'll sink all the quicker. Move along now, to the top of the seawall. Nice night for a swim, ain't it? Come on, swing him out. Ready?
Yes. May God have mercy on his soul.
Now, 1, 2, 3.
Pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. You have just heard Act 2 of The Count of Monte Cristo with Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson. Before Mr. DeMille introduces our invited guest, let me remind you that more than 1,000 department stores throughout the country advise their customers to use Lux Flakes. Give your dresses, blouses, sweaters, underthings, and stockings regular Lux care, and you'll be amazed how long they keep that fresh-from-the-bandbox look that makes them so smart. Just remember this. Lux is safe for anything that's safe in water alone. And here's another hint. A little goes so far. Lux is thrifty, especially when you buy the large-size box. And now, Mr. DeMille.
For the enjoyment radio brings us, we're indebted not only to the sponsors who provide us with our talent, but to the hundreds of radio editors whose criticism and suggestions have aided immeasurably in advancing this medium of entertainment. Among them, tonight's guest, Mr. Alton Cook, is a dominant figure. Conducting a daily column in the New York World Telegram, Mr. Cook each year tabulates a continent-wide poll to determine the outstanding programs of the past 12 months. He reports tonight on this poll of radio editors in the United States and Canada. Speaking from New York City, Mr. Alton Cook.
A little less than 5 years ago, a cast of good actors with Miriam Hopkins and John Bowles as their stars gathered in a radio studio and sent a play called Seventh Heaven through loudspeakers all over this continent. From this window at my elbow in New York, I can't lean out to ask, do you remember that day, Mr. DeMille? I'm sure you remember it as well as I do. That was the start of your radio theater. Before that year was out, the New York World Telegram gathered the votes of radio editors in the United States and Canada. The weekly programs of your new radio theater were voted the best dramas of 1934. The casts of that first year began like a who's who of Broadway and Hollywood. The plays, a survey of the most heartwarming and mirth-stirring writing of our time, gathered from stage and screen. The pace you have set has been a hard one to keep, I'm sure. But each year, we radio editors have assured you that your pace has not slackened. The 1939 World Telegram poll of radio editors has just ended. The verdict is the same. Your radio theater has been far ahead through all the 5 years since that day it began. Along with all the other radio editors of the United States and Canada, our congratulations to you and to your sponsor.
Along with the honor of this award, Mr. Cook, we recognize our responsibilities for the future. Now here in Hollywood, we're ready to bring you Act 3 of The Count of Monte Cristo with Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson and our all-star cast. Months have passed since Edmond Dantes was thrown from the walls of the Chateau d'If. Picked up by a passing sloop, he at last found his way to the island of Monte Cristo, to the dark chamber in the grotto. And there, as the abbé had told him, lay the glittering Spada fortune.
Gold, diamonds, pearls, rubies, unnumbered millions. The world is mine.
Now, years later, all Europe whispers strange tales of a strange man, a fabulously wealthy nobleman, the Count of Monte Cristo. To his palatial villa in Rome, the Count of Monte Cristo has summoned Jacopo, his private agent.
Your name is a kind of magic in these days, Excellency. Everywhere they speak of you. Who is he? Where did he come from? Why, if you would care to hear...
I wouldn't.
Forgive me, Your Excellency.
Jacopo, I selected you for this task not alone because you are the best agent in all Europe, but also because you're supposed to know when not to talk.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Now, I have returned to Rome to learn what progress you have made. Your investigations are complete?
Complete, Your Excellency. 3 books. Hundreds of entries in each. This is the record of the man de Villefort, this of Danglars, and this Mondego. Every movement each has made since February 1815.
You've done well, Jacopo.
It was not always easy. These 3 are, shall I say, clever men. De Villefort now holds the position of King's attorney. Much evidence of dishonesty in office.
De Villefort, King's attorney. The others?
Danglars, now known as the Baron Danglars, is one of the 4 leading bankers of France. Conspiracy with de Villefort to defeat public interest.
With de Villefort? Then the 2 are friends.
All 3 are friends. De Villefort, Danglars, Mondego. Ever since Marseille, they've worked together.
And before. Go on. What of Mondego?
Ferdinand de Mondego, now Count de Mondego. In 1815, soldier in provincial army of France. 2 years later, in 1817, married...
Married to Mercedes de Rosas of Marseille.
You've read this, Excellency.
No, my friend. But I've done some investigating of my own. Go on.
through questionable activity, Mondego rose quickly in the army. Served as aide to Ali Pasha of Albania against the Turks. Has one child, a son, 19, Albert de Mondego. Lieutenant...
Wait. A son?
Yes, Excellency, and here in Rome.
Fortunate. We must find a way to be of service to this son of Mondego's. Arrange it, Jacopo.
At once, Your Excellency.
Perhaps if he is grateful enough, he may invite us to Paris. To his home.
Perhaps.
Yes. Yes, the time has come for the Count of Monte Cristo to open the gates of Paris. And Albert de Mondego shall be the key. Oh, one thing more, Jacopo. You recall I also asked you to trace a certain young French sailor. His name was Edmond Dantes. Have you done so?
I have. The report is also there. And here is the record of his death in the Chateau d'If, signed by de Villefort.
Give it to me. The time will come when I shall need absolute proof as to the death or life of Edmond Dantes.
Good evening, Baron.
Good evening. Is the Count Mondego at home?
Why, yes, monsieur. He's right here.
Oh, Danglars, come in.
Well, Fernand, why this sudden call here? You know that de Villefort expects us within an hour.
De Villefort is stopping here later. Anyway, there may be more important things to be considered, my dear Danglars.
What do you mean?
We have helped each other on business matters before, haven't we? And we always managed to agree on terms?
Yes. Get to the point.
Suppose through me your banking house gained a client, Danglars. The richest client in all Europe. The Count of Monte Cristo.
What?
He's here now. In there with my son Albert. Just arrived in Paris and anxious to be introduced. Well, do we understand each other, Danglars?
Perfectly.
Oh, here he is. Father, may I present the Count of Monte Cristo?
Charmed, monsieur. Albert has told me of your kindness to him, how you saved him from the hands of bandits.
Any kindness I have shown your son, monsieur, is more than repaid by this introduction to his father.
And now, Count, may I present the Baron Danglars?
A great honor.
Your Excellency, the honor is mine. You're in Paris on business, I presume.
Yes, but my business is a pleasure.
Will you be here long?
Only until my business is completed. By the way, Baron, I should like to have your house handle my banking while I'm in Paris.
Oh, why, delighted, my dear Count.
Excellent. And I wonder if you would contact my British brokers for me. Tell them I said to buy 50,000 shares of Anglo-Spanish.
50? Oh, very good. Very good.
Monsieur de Villefort, the King's attorney.
Ah, Monsieur de Villefort, in good time. I'd like to have you meet the man who saved my life in Rome, the Count of Monte Cristo.
I am honored.
A pleasure, sir. I have followed your brilliant career at the bar with a great deal of interest.
One does what one can, my dear Count.
Exactly. But don't let me detain you, gentlemen. The great nation of France awaits your services.
We shall meet soon again, I trust.
Indeed, I shall plan for it, Count Mondego.
Oh, Monte Cristo, you did say 50,000 Anglo-Spanish, didn't you?
50,000. Good day, gentlemen.
And now the most important introduction of all, my mother. Well, she's in the garden. Somehow I didn't want her to meet you with the others.
I see.
Oh, here she is and waiting for us. Mother, I bring him to you at last. The Count of Monte Cristo.
My dear Count, how can I ever thank you for saving my son's life?
It was nothing. I am more than repaid by the honor of meeting you, Madame de Mondego. Two things are rare among the women of our day. Great beauty and fidelity. Here I find both.
You here, Mother? I told you you'd never meet anyone like him.
And now, if you'll excuse me. Oh, I almost forgot. I am planning on a ball to open my new estates near Fontainebleau. And I should like my guest of honor to be the father of my first Parisian friend. Your father, Albert. Do you think he'd mind?
Mind? He'd be delighted.
I thought it would be particularly apropos to combine it with an Albanian pageant and a series of tableaux showing the court of Ali Pasha, where your father gained such fame and honor.
But that would be wonderful.
And you, Madame? The plan has your approval?
I could only say that in paying any honor to my husband, Your Excellency is more than generous.
Be assured, Madame, the honor I shall pay him is less than he deserves.
Your Excellency.
Yes?
The Princess Haydée of Albania, monsieur, in the library. She wishes to see you at once.
Very well. Excuse me, Albert. Princess,
I am here, my lord.
you are prepared?
I am.
You are sure you understand? The third tableau, the one which shows Mondego supposedly defending your father from the Turks?
It is then I speak.
Then. You are not afraid?
No, my lord. I shall be telling the truth. My father was murdered by the Count de Mondego. My mother and I were sold into slavery at his command. I shall tell them, everyone, that the Count de Mondego is not the hero they think him to be. That he betrayed my country and betrayed France.
Exactly. Now come with me. But why a visit at this hour, Mondego? I regret the affair, of course. The girl was obviously demented. But I apologize to my guests and...
And what of this? The morning paper, Albanian princess exposes the Count de Mondego.
Astounding.
The evidence. You gave it to them. You knew.
And if I did, Mondego, what then?
I'll kill you.
Put down that gun. You won't shoot me, for you're afraid. Not even knowing who I am, you fear me. But when you know...
Stop. Stay away from me.
Put down that gun.
Who are you?
Go back, Mondego. Go back to when you thought life was cheap. Go back to when you could kill a man with lies. Go back, Mondego, to Marseille, the Chateau d'If.
Dantes! Edmond Dantes!
Dantes. You may go now, my friend, and take your gun with you. Perhaps you do have courage of a sort. Goodbye, Count Mondego.
Excellency, you're all right?
Yes, Jacopo. And your book of evidence on the Count de Mondego, you can destroy it. The last chapter has been written. And now, Danglars.
We're ruined. Ruined, do you understand? Both of us.
Just a moment, Danglars. Calm yourself. Why are we ruined?
Anglo-Spanish. You sent the order to London. I acted on it here. Converted everything I own into Anglo-Spanish. And it's failed. Collapsed. We're ruined.
Why? I knew it would collapse.
You knew. But you've been buying. Your message to Thompson and French in London.
The message was in code. Though it said to buy, it really meant to sell. You see, Thompson and French is owned by a man named Edmond Dantes.
By who?
Monte Cristo.
But you said...
Edmond Dantes. Monte Cristo. They are the same, Danglars.
No. No.
The same. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Look, Danglars. Dantes.
No. No. No!
Well, Doctor?
Baron Danglars is insane. The lines snap completely. Often in cases of sudden mental shock like this.
I understand. Jacopo.
Excellency.
The second volume. Closed.
Very good, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
Yes?
The Countess de Mondego.
Here?
In the drawing room.
Have the Baron taken to him.
Madame. Your Excellency.
I regret that you've come at such an unfortunate time. The Baron Danglars has just been taken ill.
Fernand, and now Danglars. Your Excellency, I've come here about my son.
Albert?
He feels that you're responsible for his father's death. Tomorrow he's sending his seconds to you. A duel. But you can't kill him. You can't kill my boy.
Madame, this duel was not of my planning.
But you made it inevitable. What other course is left for him? Please, please, I beg of you. Haven't you had your vengeance, Edmond?
You knew.
The first
When?
day Albert brought you to me. Edmond, I can't blame you for your bitterness, but try to understand. I did wait. And then one day we went to the Chateau d'If, and they showed me there the record you had died.
And then?
Then nothing mattered. I married Fernand. Our life was a nightmare, Edmond. Except for Albert. He's all I have. He's all I've ever had, save you. The you that was 1,000 years ago. please save him for me, Edmond.
I shall. You need have no fear. There will be no duel.
Edmond Dantes, alias the Count of Monte Cristo?
Yes?
You are under arrest by order of the King's Attorney, Monsieur de Villefort.
De Villefort? Volume 3.
And so, gentlemen of the jury, citizens of France, one last word before you assemble to take a ballot. Look at this man, this creature pretending to be an honest sailor, who was all the time in reality a spy, who, while imprisoned in the Chateau d'If, undermined the structure of its tunnels, and when he discovered that the old priest, who was his companion, held the secret to a treasure, undoubtedly murdered that priest to get the treasure for himself. Know him for what he is, gentlemen, this Edmond Dantes, a traitor, a spy, and without doubt a murderer. Gentlemen, as honest Frenchmen, I know that you will find the defendant guilty and mete to him the punishment his treachery deserves.
Well, Edmond Dantes, you still have nothing to say? If you're silent, it means your death.
But that's impossible, monsieur.
What?
As long as my friend de Villefort is finally through, perhaps it's time I did speak. I have one witness who will testify that this trial is and must be a mockery, a farce.
Who is this witness?
The King's Attorney, Monsieur de Villefort. Monsieur de Villefort, I'll ask you to examine this paper and this signature. Is it yours?
It is.
And you, gentlemen of the jury, examine the document. It is the death certificate of Edmond Dantes, signed by the King's Attorney himself. He's been prosecuting a man he knew was dead. But I was not, gentlemen of the jury. I am Edmond Dantes. Yes, and Monsieur de Villefort knew I was alive. Why, then, did he affirm me dead? For the same reason that he sent me to the Chateau d'If without a trial. He was afraid. Afraid that if I were given a trial, a man named Nortier would be exposed as a Bonapartist. And Nortier was the father of de Villefort himself. That was why I died, according to this paper. That was why I went to jail for a crime I did not commit, as did thousands of others in recent years. Here is the record, gentlemen, the record of corruption that is the career of Raymond de Villefort. Read it, my friends, and then judge which of us is traitor to France and to his king.
All hands aloft. Stand ready to cast off.
And I promised to take the princess home. I'm not sure that I know how to say goodbye, Mercedes.
You needn't, Edmond. You're free again. You can stay.
I don't know. I may see France again someday. I can't be sure. Edmond Dantes has been dead so long, it will take time for me to know if he can live again.
He can, Edmond.
Perhaps. Goodbye.
Mother, will he ever come back?
Yes, Albert. He'll come back. He said he would a long, long time ago.
So ends tonight's presentation of The Count of Monte Cristo with Robert Montgomery and Josephine Hutchinson. Our stars will be back with their curtain calls in just a moment. But first, I'd like you to listen with me to something I think will sound familiar to you.
Gosh, my money just disappears into thin air. Now, where did it go this time? Well, stockings, for one thing. I bought 2 pairs last week. Gee, if I could only cut down on those awful runs.
Well, now, listen to what Miss Ethel Henshaw of New York City says. Maybe she can help you. She says,
there was a time when I had to scrimp and scrape on lunches to buy stockings. You see, sometimes I'd be careless about the kind of soap I used for my stockings. And the runs I got were simply awful. Then I changed to Lux Flakes, and now my stockings stay nice and springy and don't have runs nearly so often.
now, that's the way to cut down on runs. There's no harmful alkali, no cake soap rubbing with gentle Lux Flakes. So Lux your stockings every night to help them wear longer, and your dresses and underthings, too. Remember, a little goes so far. Lux is thrifty. Mr. DeMille.
There's a question that arises every time the Count of Monte Cristo is produced. Was there ever in real life such a man as Edmond Dantes? Perhaps our stars can answer that for us now, Mr. Montgomery and Miss Hutchinson.
I think it's quite apparent that he did live, Mr. DeMille, because the shadow deep still stands. And I know that the attendants will show any visitor the exact cell that Dante's occupied.
I hate to argue with a lady, Josephine, but Dante's was pure fiction. One of the few characters that Dumas wrote about without some basis in fact. I don't know whether the attendants point out his cell just to impress gullible Americans, or if the story was written so convincingly it has made people believe it was true.
Well, not being certain, let's skip it. But don't tell me there's no such place as Monte Cristo.
There is such an island, yes. It lies in the Mediterranean near Elba. Can you confirm that, Mr. DeMille?
Oh, I don't know what the island's like today, Bob. But when Dumas saw Monte Cristo, it was inhabited only by wild goats. He rowed a boat around the island, but never set foot on it. Yet he couldn't forget its name, nor its air of mystery. Out of that brief visit came the idea for the book.
Leaving Dumas to sleep in well-earned peace. What about you, Bob, and this talk I hear of a play in New York?
Well, that's all it is at the moment, Josephine. Just talk. But it would be great to see what a drafty Broadway stage feels like again after all these years in Hollywood's air-conditioned studios.
What a chilblains compared with the chance to do A Night Must Fall behind footlights.
Oh, give me a play like that and I'll risk pneumonia gladly. Meanwhile, it's very satisfying, Mr. DeMille, to appear in your LUX Radio Theatre. It's very close to that Broadway stage I've been talking about.
My thanks,
Many thanks.
too, Mr. DeMille, as a grateful performer and an admiring fan. Good night.
Your performances would have delighted Dumas himself. Good night.
Mr. DeMille, in just a moment, tells of our plans for your entertainment next Monday. Lloyd Nolan, a Paramount star, appears next in St. Louis Blues. Louis Stone is from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studio. His new film is The Hardys Ride High. Louis Silvers appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox Studio, where he directed music for Tailspin. Paul Lucas is seen next in the Hal Roach picture Captain Fury, and Sidney Blackmer in MGM's Fast and Loose. Now, our producer.
Next Monday's star is more than a great actor. He's a gentleman whom Hollywood likes and admires, as much as the millions who saw him on the stage and currently applaud him on the screen. Mr. Lionel Barrymore. As for the play, it's one that David Belasco and I worked out together. The Return of Peter Grimm. Mr. Barrymore will be heard in the title role, which he played so effectively on the screen, and co-starred Edward Arnold, Maureen O'Sullivan, and Peter Holden. This week marks the 29th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America. In the past 29 years, nearly 8.5 million boys and men have pledged themselves to keep alive the high ideals of American reverence, tolerance, and loyalty. Today, as never before in our history, we stand in need of the splendid spirit typified by this great organization. So we salute the Boy Scouts of America. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theatre presents Lionel Barrymore in The Return of Peter Grimm, and co-starred Edward Arnold, Maureen O'Sullivan, and Peter Holden. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Cast of tonight's play included Walter Byron as DeVopo, Barry Drew as Albert de Mondego, Victor Rodman as Monsieur Morel. Your announcer has been Melville Ruiz. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theatre brings you Irene Dunn, Alan Jones, and Charles Winninger in Showboat. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Straight down the heart of America, for 2,500 miles of corn and cotton, town and city, rolls Old Man River. Rolling down to the sea in days gone by, he watched the epic of a nation building in the pageant of puffing steamboats. Its overture, the song of dusky stevedores on the levee. But the strangest and the most glamorous of all the craft that ever sailed the Mississippi is the kind that's celebrated in tonight's play, Showboat. Almost vanished from the river now, The showboat lives on in this tender story and in the unforgettable music of Jerome Kern. I'm sure you'll approve our judgment in selecting the same 3 stars who played in the motion picture: Irene Dunn, Alan Jones, and Charles Winninger. And this fulfills one of our long-standing ambitions, to bring Irene Dunn to this stage in a part that requires a large order of singing as well as acting. Charles Winninger is the captain of our craft. Irene Dunn and Alan Jones are star performers in his company. And the gay excitement of the steamboat stage is a colorful backdrop for the love story, the songs, and the heartwarming drama of Showboat. It's a happy event here in the Lux Radio Theatre tonight. And it's a happy event in your home every day when you use Lux Flakes. Good homemakers have to be good businesswomen, too. And that's why millions like the thrift and the modern efficiency of Lux Flakes. Now our curtain rises on a scene of action and adventure as we present Act 1 of Showboat, starring Irene Dunn as the lovely Magnolia, Alan Jones as Gaylord Ravenel, and Charles Winninger as Captain Andy Hawks. The Mississippi River, 1880, on the levee at Natchez. Stevedores move slowly under the hazy morning sun, loading the side-wheeler riverboats with huge bales of cotton, singing as they bend their backs to the task. Suddenly, excitement sweeps across the peaceful scene. From the river comes the brassy voice of a steam calliope, heralding the approach of a floating palace of entertainment, the Cotton Blossom Showboat. Pennants waving gaily in the breeze, she noses into the landing as the townsfolk swarm to greet her at the levee. On the top deck appears a jaunty little man in a long red coat, that Mississippi impresario, that genius of the floating theater, Captain Andy Hawks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this kind reception. And now I want you to meet some of the greatest artists that ever played the river towns. Miss Ella Mae Chipley, the toast of Cairo, Illinois. Come on, Ellie.
Hello, folks.
Next, I want you all to meet Mr. Frank Schultz. Morning, all. Mr. Schultz is the villain in our plays, but off the stage he's as meek as a lamb and he wouldn't hurt a fly, and he's stuck on Ellie. How about that, Ellie?
Captain Andy, you just stop that. You have to hold Ellie's hand all day.
All right, party, all right. Yes, sir, that's the way we are, folks. Just one big happy family, and I'm their father. And Poppy over here, Poppy's their mother. How about that, Poppy?
You make me sick.
Yes, folks, just one big happy family. And now to give you another sample of what we got in the way of talent, let me call your attention to Rubberface Smith, the funniest man in the world. Hey, Rubberface, drop that mop and come over here to the rail. Folks, this is Rubberface Smith. Come on, Smithy, give him one of your funny faces. Just a sample.
How'd you do, folks?
Ain't that marvelous? Look at that smile. He got a heart of gold, and teeth to match. That's one of my originals.
Tell her much more, and they won't have to see the show.
All right, Father, all right. And now, last but not least, I want you to meet the little sweetheart of the South, Miss Julia Laverne, our leading lady.
Hello, everyone.
You all know her, you all love her. What more can I say? And over here we have another famous ornament of the stage, Mr. Stephen Baker, the handsomest leading man in the Middle West. Take a bow, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll tell you a secret, folks. Julie and Steve play sweethearts on the stage, but in private life they're man and wife. And when you see them act, you see real romance. So here we are, folks, just one big happy family. And don't forget the bill tonight, Tempest and Sunshine, that beautiful drama of tears and laughter. Concert after the big show. Bring the children. Come, warriors.
I won't have my daughter mixing in with riff-raff show people.
Now, party, listen.
I won't. I'm sick and tired of this life anyway. It's about time we settle down somewhere and give Magnolia the bringing up she's entitled to.
Oh, Magnolia's all right. She's getting along fine.
I suppose you think that taking piano lessons from that Julie Laverne is all the education she needs. Well, I won't have it. What's more, there's something funny about that Julie Laverne, and I don't want her speaking to Magnolia at all.
Now, party, Julie is the best leading lady on the river, so don't go starting any trouble.
I'd expect that from you. You think more of your showboat group than you do your own daughter's upbringing. I'll have more to say to you later, Andy.
Oh, you will you? Just one big happy family. Ah!
Oh, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to startle you.
Oh, you're not supposed to be here. We don't allow visitors on board.
My heartfelt apologies. You see, I was attracted by your music, so I took it upon myself to climb over the rail. I'm very fond of music.
Oh. Do you live here in Natchez?
Oh, no, I don't. My name's Ravenel, Gaylord Ravenel. Just a wayfarer along the river.
So am I. Which way are you going?
Either way. Where are you going?
Anywhere Papa gives shows.
Oh, are you one of the players?
You mean an actress? Oh, no, but I'd give anything if it could be.
Why?
Oh, because you can make believe so many wonderful things that never happen in real life.
But wonderful things do happen. Only a few minutes ago, I was standing down there on the levee, feeling sorry for myself. Well, now I'm here with you.
Oh, I think I'd better go.
Oh, why?
Well, you see, you're talking to me, and I don't know you.
Does that really matter so much?
No, not to me.
Well, if you like to make believe things, why can't we make believe we know each other?
Oh, yes, and we haven't seen each other for 75 years, and you're my long-lost nephew. There's a scene like that in a play called The Village Drunkard.
No, 75 years is too long. Besides, I don't like the idea of being your nephew. Let's imagine we've just met.
But we really have.
All right. Let's make believe that we've fallen in love at first sight.
Only make believe I love you. Only make believe that you love me. Others find peace of mind in pretending. Couldn't you? Couldn't I? Couldn't we make believe our lips are blending in a phantom kiss or two or three? Might as well make believe I love you. Or to tell the truth, that's just an unimportant technicality.
Though the cold and brutal fact is, you and I have never met. We need not mind conditions, peace and pure. If we put our thoughts in practice, we can banish all regret. Imagining most anything we do. We could make believe I love you. We could make believe that you love me.
Others find peace of mind in pretending. Couldn't you? Couldn't I? Couldn't we make believe our lips are blending in a phantom kiss or two or three? Might as well make believe I love you. Or to tell the truth, I do.
Ravenel?
Oh, yes.
I'd like to speak to you a minute, Ravenel.
Why, certainly. What is it?
You better come along with me. Judge wants to see you.
What about?
I ain't sure. Something about that trouble you got in last year. Come on.
Just a minute. Will you excuse me, ma'am? I hope I'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye. I've just got to tell you something.
Nola, you know what your ma said. She don't want you talking to
Oh, now,
me.
Julie, please. Please, this is important. Julie, I think I'm in love.
What? Oh, why, you poor, crazy little girl. You can't.
I mean it.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, there isn't very much to tell. I was playing the piano, and, I looked up, and there he was. And, oh, Julie, he looked so different from everybody else, and so beautiful.
You poor little lamb.
He said he hoped he'd see me again. You think he meant it?
I don't know, child. And I don't know as I'd like you to go falling in love with some man that nobody ever heard of. Suppose he turned out to be just a no-account river fellow.
Well, if I found out he was no account, I'd stop loving him.
Oh, no, you couldn't. Once a girl starts to love a man, she don't stop so easy.
Well, couldn't you stop loving Steve if he treated you mean?
No, honey. No matter what he did. You see, child, love's a funny thing. There's no sense to it. That's why you got to be careful when it comes creeping up to you.
I know. Fish gotta swim, birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. It's like the song you always sing, Julie. Is that the way it really is?
Mm-hmm. That's the way it is, honey. You'll find that out someday.
All right, folks. Now, come on. Let's get on with the rehearsal now. Julie, you're downstage.
Yes.
We'll take the part where your sister just went out. And so and so and so and so and so. A long speech ending. And remember, dear, I'm your sister, and if any harm should ever come to you, I'll never forgive myself. That's your cue. You got your part?
Oh, I know it. I wonder what can be keeping Parson Brown.
That's it, Noli. Play it soft. Go ahead, Julie.
He promised to be here before dark, and twilight is fast fading into night. Fading into night.
Can it be he will not keep his tryst with me?
Keep his tryst with me.
Yeah, keep his tryst with you. Then Rubberface rings the bell.
Yes.
Then I come in, don't I?
Yeah, that's right, Steve. Noli, play something for a parson.
Good evening, Miss Lucy. I was...
Hey, Captain Andy.
Steve!
What's the matter with you? Can't you see we're rehearsing?
I know, but listen, Andy. The sheriff ain't going to let us open tonight.
What's that? What are you talking about?
I heard him say so. He's on his way here now. It's something about Julie.
What about Julie?
Steve, it's all right, darling. Don't worry.
What are we going to do?
Captain Hawks? Who's Captain Hawks?
I'm Captain Hawks right here.
Captain Hawks, you acknowledge to be the owner of the showboat?
Of course I do. What do you want?
Well, I got an unpleasant duty, Captain. You got an actress on board who's in this country illegally.
How's that?
A woman. Real name, Julia Dozier. Got the papers right here.
Julie!
I'm Steve Baker. This woman is my wife.
My information says she was born in Martinique. It also says she's been in jail there. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
You better come along with me.
But what's going to happen to her?
What do you think? We're shipping her back where she belongs.
All right. Then you can send me along, too.
No, Steve, no.
It's all right, darling.
No.
We'll be together. Get your things.
And hurry up about it.
No, Papa, don't take her. Julie!
No, Noli!
Well, I hope you're satisfied, Andy.
Where's Magnolia?
In a cabin, mooning over that no-count Julie. Won't speak a word to me. You see now what your showboat has done to your daughter?
I think the showboat's made a darn fine gal out of my daughter. Thing we got to worry about is how are we going to give a show tonight without Steve?
You're just as bad off for a leading woman.
Well, you know, I was thinking we'd let Noli jump in. She knows all the parts.
Over my dead body. There never was an actress in my family, and there ain't gonna be.
Oh, I just meant to put her in temporary. She don't know much about acting, but she's got a smile worth $1 million.
Captain Andy, what we gonna do?
You got a show tonight, Andy?
I don't know whether we have or not. Do you know any actor we can pick up to jump into the lead?
Well, there's a fellow I met in town. Seems he's got to leave tonight, and there ain't no boat. He asked me if we took on passengers.
Of course we don't take passengers.
So I brought him along. He's waiting outside. A swell-looking fella.
Well, bring him in here.
All right, mister. Come on in.
Good evening.
This is Captain Andy Hawks, Mr.
Ravenel's my name. Gaylord Ravenel of the Tennessee Ravenel. I thought, sir, if I could have a bed on your boat tonight, I could pay you my fare tomorrow at Port Adams. You see, I expect a remittance.
A remittance.
Ever acted, young fella?
Acted?
Yeah, on the stage. Acted. Been an actor. I'm looking for a juvenile leading man. $15 a week. Chance to see the world. No responsibility.
Am I to understand that you're offering me the position of juvenile lead?
That's what he means, young man. We don't like to pick up actors off the wharves, but we can't be choosy just now.
Madam, your courtesy is only exceeded by your charm.
He got you that time, Party.
You keep quiet. Mother, I'm sorry I acted the way I did. Oh.
Good evening. Oh, come here, Nolly, come here. We're going to need you. You're going to be our leading woman tonight, and Mr. Ravenel here is going to be our leading man.
You mean Mr. Ravenel is
That's
going...
right. Come on, now, we ain't got much time. Here's your part. Now, you take this, Mr. Ravenel. I'd like to hear how you handle dialogue. And now the idea of this character is you're in love with her. And you say, Miss Lucy, will you be mine? And she says, you'll have to talk to my father first. Now, you just try it, just a sample.
Well, what do I do, Pop?
Oh, you just smile, Nolly. That'll get him. Well, go ahead, Ravenel. Miss Lucy, will you be mine? Oh. No, nothing like it. More feeling. As if you loved her.
Nola, wipe that moonstruck look off your face.
Oh, stop it, Barby, stop it. Smile, Nolly, go on, give him the smile. Now, go on as if you loved her, Ravenel. With feeling. Miss Lucy, will you be mine?
Yes, I will. Nola, that's the wrong line.
All right, step right up, folks, step right up. Come in and see tonight's great play, Love Triumphs Over All. I want you to know, folks, that we always put on strong moral plays. Yes, sir, the kind of plays you can bring your children to see. The kind where virtue triumphs over vice. I've been 20 years on this here river, and I ain't never put on a show yet where virtue ain't won out. I had some tight squeezes, though. Oh, go right in, folks. Go right inside.
Andy, come over here.
Oh, what's the matter now, Party?
It's about that Ravenel. He's been looking at Magnolia ever since we left Natchez.
Well, he'd be a fool if he didn't.
Andy Hawk. You mean to tell me you'd like to see your daughter married to a tramp you picked up off the levee?
Good grief, woman. Can't a man look at a girl without having to marry her?
Just the same, I'd like to know something about that man, and I'm going to.
Oh, forget it.
Forget it?
Yes, forget it. And when I say forget it...
Oh, no. Oh, no. We get back to Natchez tomorrow, and I'm going to ask folks around there a few questions. Are you coming with me?
I ain't. I like Ravenel. He's a right smart young fella, and he's the best leading man we ever had.
Gypsy, that's what he is. For all he talks so high about being a Ravenel of Tennessee.
He is a Ravenel.
He says he is.
Didn't he show me the church and the tombstone of his...
Oh, Hawk, you're a zany. I could say my name was Bonaparte and show you Napoleon's tomb, but that wouldn't make him my grandfather, would it?
No, but if he wasn't, it'd make him turn over in his grave.
Nona, is that you, Nona?
Gay.
How did you get away?
I can't stay long. I told Mother I'd fill her pitcher at the water barrel. She's waiting for me.
No, we never have much time together, do we? But you can't stay a moment. She won't let you.
Oh, my, it's a beautiful night.
Listen, they'd never get tired of that song, do they?
Yeah. The harder they work, the louder they sing. Gay, do you like this life? Being an actor, traveling up and down the river?
Oh, yes, why?
Will you always like it?
Well, that's hard to say. You know, it's a big world, Nona. There's such a lot to see and a lot to do.
Someday you'll grow restless, and you'll leave us, won't you?
I may leave the showboat, but I'll never leave you, Nona.
Oh, Gay.
Will you marry me, Nona?
Oh, marry you?
Yes, and Natchez tomorrow.
Oh, but, Gay, I can't.
Why not? I love you, Nona.
Father, what would he say?
Your father, he gave me the idea. Oh, please, darling, say you will.
Oh, Gay, I want to.
Oh, I can't stand this way any longer. These stolen seconds, these little snatches of you. Oh, I want you all to myself forever.
Oh, Gay.
You love me, Nona. You do love me, don't you?
I love you, Gay. I love you so.
Darling.
Here in my arms, where you belong, and here we will stay. I'll not let you away. I want day after day with you. Your love, part of my life and day.
To Natchez.
Tomorrow in Natchez.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to the announcement you read on the post office, you're all invited to the wedding of my daughter, Miss Magnolia Hawks, to her leading man, the Honorable Gaylord Ravenel. Seeing as how you all take so much interest in showboat folks, I thought you'd like to see the happy couple playing their romance off the stage. The bride and groom will be out in a minute, and we'll all march down to the church. Here they are right now, the best-looking couple ever to be married in the fair city of Natchez. Into the carriage with you, Nolly.
Andy, stop them. Don't let Nola go with him. He's a murderer.
Who's a murderer?
That's Ravenel. He killed a man.
Ravenel? Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. When?
Last year. Ask the sheriff.
Sheriff? Is this true? Well, it was a case of self-defense. Then he proved he had a right to kill.
Are you going to let your daughter ride off with a murderer?
Murderer be hanged. I killed a man when I was 19.
You killed a man.
Accidentally. Are you coming with us or ain't you?
Where you going?
To the church. Nolly and Ravenel are going to be married.
Married to a murderer. Oh, she fainted. Captain Andy, she fainted.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Good. Now we can go on with the wedding.
The curtain falls on Act One of Showboat with Irene Dunn, Charles Winninger, and Alan Jones. While we're waiting for Act Two, here's a question for you. Who would you say is the most important buyer in the United States? We'd say Mrs. America, and our hats are off to her. Every year, approximately $25 billion pass through her hands for housekeeping and other expenses. Believe me, she's a smart buyer. She wants her money's worth, and she gets it. Naturally, we value her opinion, so we've asked a typical housewife to join us tonight, Mrs. Bertha Aldrich of North Hollywood, who has a family of two. Do you mind answering a few questions for us, Mrs. Aldrich?
Why, I'd love to, Mr. Rick.
Well, now, let's suppose you're making up your marketing list, and you find you need soap for your dishes or your nice washables. What influences your selection of a soap to do that job?
Well, it's speed, for one thing. I like to get my work done quickly and easily, so I buy a soap that suds up real fast.
You know, Mrs. Aldrich, when you order new Quick Lux Flakes, that's just what you get. Speed. The fine sheer flakes burst into suds at the touch of water. And in water as cool as your hand, they dissolve 3 times as fast as any of 10 other leading soaps tested. That's speed for you. What else do you want in a soap, Mrs. Aldrich?
Why, I want plenty of good, rich suds, too. Lasting suds that'll do a thorough job of cleansing at minimum cost.
New Quick Lux scores on that point, too. Ounce for ounce, it gives you more suds than any of the other soaps tested, even in hard water. It goes further, and that makes it thrifty to use. You get the things you're looking for in a soap when you put new Quick Lux Flakes on your list.
That's precisely why I've been using Lux for years. I think it's simply marvelous for dishes and all my nice things. Now you've got new Quick Lux, I like it better than ever.
I can see that I can't tell you a thing, Mrs. Aldrich.
Not about new Quick Lux, you can't. But you can tell other people. Tell them it's not only fast and thrifty, but it's wonderfully gentle, too. It's grand the way it keeps washables new-looking longer. And it's so kind to the hands. I'm a real Lux fan, all right.
Good for you. For speed, thrift, and safety, buy new Quick Lux Flakes. They come in the same familiar package and cost you no more. Be sure to ask for the economical large-size box. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of Showboat, starring Irene Dunn as Magnolia, Alan Jones as Gaylord Ravenel, and Charles Winninger as Captain Andy Hawks. 13 years have passed, and Gay's restless spirit has brought him and Magnolia far from the Mississippi, far from the old Cotton Blossom Showboat. They live in Chicago now, in a grand hotel one day, in a boarding house room the next. For Gay is a gambler, and his fortunes rise and fall with the turn of the cards, It's 1893, the year of the Chicago World Fair. Andy and Posse have come to take in the sights. In the fair's midway, Posse surveys the glittering scene with a cold eye.
Look, Mother, this is the Congress of Beauty. Isn't that girl lovely? A hussy, that's what she is, a hussy. That's all you see around here, hussies and dudes. How much longer are you going to drag me around?
Not long. Gay said he'd meet us here just as soon as he finished some business.
In a place like this? Must be a funny business.
Oh, Mother, why do you say that?
If I've asked you once, I've asked you 100 times how your husband makes his living, and I never get an answer out of either of you. Secret, mystery. How I hate not to know things.
He's doing very well, Mother. We have everything we want. We go everywhere.
Magnolia, look at the droves of men coming out of that place. What is it?
Oh, that's the Hoochie Coochie dance.
Hoochie Coochie? Why, a man ought to be ashamed to be seen near that place. I wouldn't have any respect for a Magnolia.
Yes, Mother.
Magnolia, is that your father?
By golly, I don't see how she does it.
Andy!
Oh, hello, Party.
Where have you been?
Party, don't get excited.
Were you in that Hoochie Coochie place?
Sure I was.
You ought to be ashamed.
Well, I was just looking over some types. Who knows, I might find an actress for the showboat.
From now on, you can look for types someplace else. We'll go down to the Wild West show. Come on.
Well, we'll see you at the hotel later.
All right, Pop. Bye.
Anything like it, Gay. You held every hand I ever saw in my life.
Oh, the cards are just running for me, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, hello, darling. Waiting long?
Oh, now, Barry. Ready to leave?
Well, look, dear, I've had a marvelous run of luck, and I can't leave now. I've got to go back and have another fling.
Oh, Gay, do you think you ought to?
Well, I've got to play while they're running for me. I'll be back in town to dress for dinner.
All right, darling.
Dear Papa, there's very little to tell you since I last wrote. Gay is still doing very well, and I am fine. I hear that Frank and Ellie have left the troupe to go out in vaudeville. Wish them luck for us. Oh, I must tell you before I forget. We have changed our address. We grew tired of the hotel and have moved to a wonderful little place at 516 Ontario Street. Write to us there from now on. Love, Nola.
That's right. Not too expensive, please. There ain't anything expensive on Ontario Street. Come on, I'll show you what I got. Well, there's still somebody in there, but they won't be much longer. You theatrical people?
That's right. Frank and Ella Schultz. Heard of us?
No, can't say I have. Well, here's the room. You won't find another in Chicago for the price. And how do you like it?
What's this over here, a closet?
A nice big one, too. You can look into it if you want to. Kind of empty, ain't it? Don't the people who live here have any clothes? It's a lot more space than they need with everything they own in pawn. These are gamblers. They've been coming here for years on and off. Each time they'd be living here for a couple of months, till one fine night he'd come in with his pockets stuffed with greenbacks. Then they'd wake up the little girl and off they'd go, bag and baggage to the Sherman house. Well, they'd be living there in quality for a while. Then they'd be coming back here. And one by one they'll find things disappear. First he pawns his fancy chain, then her diamond ring goes, then her fur coat. And this winter the poor little woman has no coat at all, but a kind of a thing that neither you nor I'd be after wearing. Oh, good evening. Is that you, Nola? Ellie, that's right. Ellie.
Hello, Nola.
And Frank. Dear old Frank. How are you, dearie? Oh, I'm fine. My, but it's good to see you. How did you know where I lived?
Well, as a matter of fact...
I just came here to look for rooms. I told them you was leaving.
Oh, yes, of course. You see, these are only temporary quarters until we move into our new home on the lake shore. Meanwhile, we stop here. It's near Gay's business, and then we like to help out Mrs. O'Brien.
Great help. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Schultz, I'll be downstairs. You can let me know about the room. Check it out, Mrs. O'Brien.
She's a dear old thing.
Nola, is this your little girl's picture?
Yes, that's Kim. Isn't she a darling? 8 years old this March.
Gee, I'll bet Captain Andy's proud of her.
Mm-hmm. Kim and I go back to visit the old Cotton Blossom most every summer. But in Chicago, she's at a convent over at St. Agatha's. Gay insisted on giving her every possible advantage.
Oh, Gay doing well, Nola?
Oh, yes. He's a big success.
Well, now tell me something about yourself.
We're doing pretty good.
Pretty good. Listen to him. We're practically headliners.
Well, where you playing now?
Well, we're just sort of breaking in an act. We open New Year's Eve at the Trocadero.
Oh, I've been there often.
Mm-hmm.
Not lately, though.
Say, Nola, I was thinking if you need a little money, I could fix it so you get a job. You know, fix up a little act, maybe singing and playing like you used to.
Oh, that'd be fine, Nola. I'm afraid Gay would never hear of it. Of course, I'd like to. Just for a lark, I mean. I don't need the money.
Oh, no, of course not.
Come in.
Boy, I just got this envelope for you, Miss Ravenel.
Oh, thank you, Ethel.
You're welcome.
Hey, that's a big roll of bills there.
Oh, yes. Gay was going to stop off at the bank. Will you excuse me a minute, folks? I've got to see what Gay says. He may want me to meet him somewhere. Oh, no. No.
Nola, dear. What's the matter? Is Gay hurt?
Nola! Dearest, by the time this letter reaches you, I shall be on a train bound who knows where. There is nothing left to pawn, and no more friends to borrow from. I'm enclosing $200. This will let Kim finish her term at the convent. Then you can both go to your parents. I'm doing this because I think it is right, and because I love you. Please believe I will always love you. My dear little wife, goodbye. Your own Gay.
Nola. Can we do anything, Nola?
I don't think so, Ellie. I don't know. I never thought of living without Gay. I can't imagine it now.
He seems to think you and Kim would be better off.
Better off? I've never complained. I've lived like this half the time. One room, washing clothes in a basin, cooking food over a gas jet. But I loved him. And if all that went with him, I was willing to take it. I thought he knew that. I thought he knew.
There's your little girl. She's coming now, Mr. Ravenel.
Thank you, sister. May I speak to her alone?
Of course you may.
Daddy! Daddy!
Hello, Kim.
Daddy, where's Mommy?
Well, Mommy couldn't come today. Now, listen, dear. Daddy's in a great hurry. Must catch a train.
Where are you going?
Away for a little while on business. I just had a few minutes to rush in and see you.
Can't I go with you?
No, dear. Not on this trip. But while I'm gone, I want you to think of me once in a while. Will you?
Yes. I think of you all the time, and when I miss you, I always do what you told me.
What was that?
I just make believe.
Oh, yes, dear, that's right. That's the system Daddy taught you for having anything you want, isn't it?
Only make believe I'm near you. Only make believe that you're with me. Girls and boys find it fun just pretending. Couldn't you? Couldn't I? Couldn't we?
And if I'm a little late coming back, you just remember and pretend I've never gone away. Will you, sweetheart?
Best of all, make believe I love you. Or to tell the truth,
Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, Daddy.
And Kim, will you do something for me? Tell Mother. Well, tell her I came to see you, will you?
After a short intermission, Mr. DeMille presents Act 3 of Showboat with Irene Dunn, Charles Winninger, and Alan Jones. You know, music often describes things more vividly than words. For instance, suppose when you wash your stockings, you rub them with a cake of soap. The music would express that rubbing something like this. That's pretty bad, that rubbing. Can't you just see it roughening the silk threads, weakening their elasticity so they can't stand the extra strain? When you kneel or stoop, they're apt to pop into runs like this.
Oh, gosh, there goes another run.
And those runs are expensive and embarrassing, Mrs. Housewife.
They're a nuisance. I want to cut down on stocking runs.
And you can with new Quick Lux Flakes. After each wearing, dip your stockings in rich, pure Lux suds. There's no rubbing, no harmful alkali to weaken threads. The suds are so gentle, so mild, as delicate as that music. They float out the soil without hurting the fragile threads. New Quick Lux Flakes save stocking elasticity. When you kneel or stoop, the threads stretch. Then, instead of popping into runs so easily, the threads spring back. That's worth knowing, isn't it? New Quick Lux cuts down on runs. And, of course, that cuts down your stocking bills. Try it. Get the economical large box tomorrow. It comes in the same familiar Lux package, and yet it costs you no more. Fast, thrifty, safe. That's New Quick Lux Flakes. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The curtain rises on Act 3 of Showboat. It's 2 weeks later. Gay has dropped out of sight, and Nola, after the first shock, has turned her thoughts to the support of little Kim. Frank has offered to speak to the manager of the Trocadero, but just now he doesn't seem to be having much luck.
Mr. Green, can I speak to you a minute, please?
I said no, I'm busy.
But Mr. Green...
Listen, will you please? Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Frank Schultz of Schultz & Schultz, a well-known comedy team.
Oh, the new actor. All right, I'll see you later.
Oh, but Mr. Green, I got a girl outside I'd like to hear sing.
Listen, I don't need nobody. I ain't seeing any more people today.
I know, but I thought
you thought wrong, see?
Hello?
Who let you in here? What do you want?
Well, I'm
The girl I mean, Mr. Green.
I'd like to sing for you, Mr. Green.
Yeah?
If you'll just give me a chance,
She's good, Mr. Green. She was a star on the Cotton Blossom Showboat.
Star of a showboat. That means a lot in Chicago, don't it?
Hey, boys.
Yeah, what?
I got a message for you from your prima donna. She's walking out.
What?
Yeah, she's through. She quit.
She can't quit, not on the day before we open. Who does she think she is?
You better ask her that. She ain't speaking to me.
Well, she'll speak to me or I'll... Hey, you.
You mean me?
Yeah. Don't go away. I might be able to use you.
Now, look here, clerk. I want to see Mr. and Mrs. Gaylord Ravenel.
I'm sorry, sir, but I told you they're not stopping at the hotel any longer. They haven't been here for months.
But my daughter wrote me. They moved it back here in
I'm
August.
sorry. There's nothing that I can do for you, sir.
Nice New Year's Eve, I must say. You and your surprises. They ain't here and nobody knows where they want. Well, Hawk, what do you got to say?
Will you listen?
No, I won't.
I thought you wanted.
What are you going to do, stand there all night? Get me the key. I'm going to my room. I'm all tuckered out.
Oh, Padre, it's New Year's Eve. Let's go out. I bet Noli and Gay are out celebrating at some restaurant. Come on, let's go and find them.
Like looking for a needle in a haystack. Get the key.
Oh, here it is. You go on upstairs and go to sleep, and I'll look around for the children. I got a feeling I'll bump into them.
Hawk, it's 8 o'clock. You be back here by 9, or I'll be coming after you.
Well, you won't find me. Give me the best table in the house.
Captain Andy. Andy Hawk.
Well, if it ain't Frankie Schultz.
Hey, what are you doing
here in the Trocadero, Captain Andy?
Oh, it just dropped in. Posse and me come up to surprise Noli and Gay. But they ain't stopping at the Sherman House anymore.
No, they ain't.
Anyway, I left Posse at the hotel at 8 o'clock. I told her I was going to take a walk. And ever since 10 o'clock, I've been trying to think of an excuse for not being back by 9.
Listen, Captain Andy. Nola's here.
Where?
She's acting.
Acting? What do you mean, acting? Gay never let her.
Oh, Gay's gone.
What?
Yep, he went broke and quit. I'm telling you this because Nola's opening here tonight, and we want everything to go smooth. Gee, it'll be awful if she don't make a hit.
What do you mean, don't make a hit? My Noli'll stand this crowd on their ears. Didn't she always do it? Didn't they always love her on the river? My daughter is singing here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to announce that our regular prima donna, Miss Hattie Baker, is indisposed and cannot appear here tonight. But we are fortunate, however, in obtaining the services of Miss Magnolia Ravenel.
Magnolia Ravenel? Who's she? I'll tell you who she is.
Don't start anything, Captain Andy. Sit down.
Miss Magnolia Ravenel.
Quiet! Quiet, everybody! My daughter is going to sing.
Captain Andy.
Noli, look. It's me, Noli.
Papa.
Go on and sing and make 'em like it. Go on, give 'em the smile. Give 'em the smile. Start that music. Now, Molly, go on ahead.
He's gotta swim, he's gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. Can't help loving that man no more. Tell me he's lazy, tell me he's slow. Tell me I'm crazy, maybe I know. Can't help loving that man no more. When he goes away, there's a rainy day. And when he comes back, that day is fine. The sun will shine. He can come home as late as can be. Home without him ain't no home to me. Can't help loving that man no more. Papa, they like me. They like me.
Why, of course they did, child. And they'll go on liking you. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Papa.
You were right, Papa, as usual. You remember a long, long time ago, the night I sang at the Trocadero? You told me they would go on liking me, and how long has it been? Sometimes it seems like yesterday. Next week they want me to sing on the radio. I'll do one of the old favorites, and while I'm singing, I'll be thinking of you listening in down on the cotton blossom. Goodbye for a while. You're Noli.
Hearing that song takes me back a long time, Captain.
Yeah, I guess it does. Guess you ain't heard Noli's voice in more than 20 years, have you, Gay?
Oh, yes. I sneaked into a theater once when she played in New York.
The voice you've just heard was that of Magnolia Ravenel. She retired several years ago, but her great theatrical name is still kept alive by her lovely daughter, Kim Ravenel, the musical comedy star. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we take
I
you
guess
to New York,
that's all.
where you were here on address.
When Noli gets back from the studio, she'll get my telegram.
Do you suppose she and Kim will come down here?
Sure as shooting. Oh, you know, Gay, it's like fate, my bumping into you at Fort Adams yesterday.
Certainly is. Oh, I can hardly wait to see Nola.
Well, you won't have to wait long. Train will get him here by tonight. Things move fast these days, Gay. You remember when you was a wild young buck in Chicago?
I remember. Look, Captain, you only found me by accident. Won't it be better if I just drop out of sight again?
Oh,
My life is happy and complete.
I don't know about that, Gay. Anyway, don't you ever want to see Kim?
Does she look like Nola?
Spitting image of her. She's got a lot of your ways, too. Kind of dignified. More refined than most gals of today.
Oh, I'd give a lot to see her. Oh, but I don't dare. I don't think I'd better.
Now, sit down, Gay. Trouble with you is you keep on blaming yourself. And the fact is you was just unlucky. The lucky people are the ones that get to do what they enjoy doing. I always enjoyed running a showboat, and I made a success of it. And Noli was meant for the stage, and she finally landed there. And now you was meant to be a gentleman. And the biggest mistake you ever made in your life was to try and earn a living. Nobody ever expected it of you. You was on the right track when you started to be a leading man on the river. Who knows, you might have got to be a big actor, and then you wouldn't have had to work anymore.
Andy!
Oh, gosh.
Andy!
There's Party calling me now. Guess I better be going.
I can't understand it, Captain. Married all these years, and yet every time she calls, you jump. What is it? What has she got?
She's got a mean disposition.
Now, come on, stand still, darling. Never thought I'd live to be bossed around by my own granddaughter.
Oh, why, Parthy, I don't boss you.
Yes, you do, Kim Ravenel. You're just like your mother. Didn't you bring me this dress that's up to my knees, and ain't you making me wear it?
But it looks marvelous, darling. Really, sweetheart.
They're here, Gay. You want me to call Noli out on the deck?
I don't know.
I don't have to call her. There she is now.
Hello, Papa. Hello. Oh.
Noli, here's Gay. Here's with Noli, Gay.
Gay.
How are you, Nola?
Gay, I'm so glad to see you.
Good evening, Captain Hawk.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Harrow.
Isn't that your daughter, Captain Hawk?
Yes, that's my Noli.
Well, how do you do, Miss Nola? I remember you when you were leading lady on the boat, and... Well, this is your husband, isn't it? Yes. And how do you do, sir?
How do you do?
I thought I recognized you both. Yes, I ought to. Why, I was here on this levee the day you were married. My, how excited we all were. That was a real love match. Well, I'm glad to see it turned out well, and that you're still happy together. Well, good night.
Good night, dear. Gay, come up on the top deck. We can talk there. Will you?
Nola, darling.
Go ahead, Gay. You'll find it's just about the same up there. Same moon, same old water barrel, and same girl. Maybe things don't change so fast after all. Good night, kid.
Gay, look. There's your daughter. There's Kim.
Bring to a close tonight's performance of Showboat with Irene Dunn, Alan Jones, and Charles Winninger. While we're waiting for our stars to return for their curtain call, here's a bit of news. A couple of months ago, at a YWCA convention in Atlantic City, a survey of 60,000 American business girls revealed that the average business girl hopes for marriage or a better job. She wants to know how to acquire charm, how to impress people, how to win love, and how to make a success of marriage.
Every girl wants those things, Mr. Ruick, whether she's a business girl or not. She wants to be charming, and daintiness is so much a part of charm.
That's easy to understand, Sally, because everyone likes a sweet, dainty girl.
Well, they say if a girl doesn't understand the importance of daintiness, She's apt to miss a lot of good times, or maybe not land the job she wants.
Well, that makes sense, all right.
Now, here's a question a girl might well ask herself every day, as a sort of daintiness test. Are my gloves, collars, cuffs, and blouses spotless?
Page, new Quick Lux Flakes. What else, Sally?
Another tip. Wash underthings and stockings every single night.
Why, Sally, it really comes down to one thing, doesn't it? Keeping everything beautifully fresh all the time.
That's right. And it's so easy to do that with new Quick Lux. It's so marvelously fast.
Of course it is. Remember, in water as cool as your hand, new Quick Lux Flakes dissolve 3 times as fast as any of 10 other leading soaps tested.
So it takes only a few moments each night to whisk undies or stockings or blouses through the beautiful, rich suds. They float away every bit of perspiration, just like magic. And that's awfully important in this warm weather because, well, even the faintest trace of perspiration is apt to offend people. When a girl luxes underthings every night, blouses, dresses, and sweaters often, she can be sure of passing her daintiness test with flying colors.
Get the generous big box of new Quick Lux tomorrow. It comes in the same familiar package and costs no more. It's fast, it's thrifty, and it's wonderfully safe for everything safe in plain water. And now, Mr. DeMille is bringing our stars to the microphone.
The Cotton Blossom is safely moored in our National Hall of Fame. And the 3 stars who brought us the magic of Showboat, Irene Dunn, Alan Jones, and Charles Winninger, are here at our microphone for a curtain call they really deserve.
Thank you, Mr. DeMille. It was a very pleasant reunion for all 3 of us back on the old Cotton Blossom.
Well, I worked in the picture and played it a number of times in stock. But for you and Charlie Winninger, Showboat must seem like a second home.
I just about get my land legs back again when it's time for another cruise.
How many times have you played the Captain?
Oh, about 600 or 700 times on the stage and for 3 years or so on the radio.
That's a career in itself.
Well, Charlie beats me, but I did spend about 40 weeks in Showboat on the stage.
Back in your old Kentucky home, Irene, you must have learned about showboats on the Ohio.
Yes, there still are a few, but not as many as there used to be. You know, my grandfather built steamboats in Louisville, and I suppose there's a good chance that 1 or 2 of those boats turned out to be showboats.
Well, that's a good, honest job for any boat. Say, C.B., what kind of a play are you putting on here next week?
Next Monday night, Charlie, we're presenting Alias the Deacon, a very human comedy with an unusual twist.
Who are you going to have in it, Mr. Mill?
Our star is Bob Burns, in the same role he played in the Universal picture just released. It's the story of a sentimental card sharp who spends more time helping people than he does at his trade. And Bob Burns has plenty of cards up his sleeve for Alias the Deacon next Monday night.
I know everyone is going to enjoy that play, especially with Bob Burns. Good night, Mr. DeMille.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. You 3 can tie up at this wharf anytime. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theatre presents Bob Burns in Alias the Deacon with Helen Wood. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
War in Europe has brought intense suffering to millions of innocent people who are homeless and starving. The American Red Cross is raising $20 million for immediate assistance to these women, children, and old people. Give as much as you can right now to your local chapter of the Red Cross. Heard in tonight's play were Verna Felton as Parthy, Hal K. Dawson as Frank Schultz, Inez Seabury as Ellie, Gloria Holden as Julie, Christian Coffin as Steve, Earl Ross as Fallon, Edward Marr as Jake, and Barbara Jean Wong, Arthur Q. Bryan, James Eagles, and Sarah Selby. Irene Dunn is now being seen on the screen in the RKO production, My Favorite Wife. Alan Jones' current picture is the great Victor Herbert, and he is now before the cameras at Paramount in There's Magic in Music. And Charles Winninger has just finished making the picture My Love Came Back at Warner Brothers. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers, and your announcer has been Melville Ruick. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lux presents Hollywood. the LUX Radio Theatre brings you Claudette Colbert and Fred McMurray in His Girl Friday with Jack Carson. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes double for the ladies and gentlemen of the press, because we feel a slight pang of regret for what we're about to do to them. It's been rumored that they don't ordinarily behave as our play tonight would indicate, but we gaily beg their indulgence on the ground that His Girl Friday is an exceptional case. Tonight we present a lady of the press in the engaging person of Claudette Colbert, and a gentleman of the same profession played by Fred McMurray, a perfect team for the hectic happenings of the next hour. And right now I'm going to give away a trade secret about this comedy. Most of you will remember a famous play about the newspaper business called The Front Page. Well, any resemblance between that play and His Girl Friday is no coincidence, but entirely intentional. This Columbia screen hit, produced by Harry Cohn and Sam Briskin, was based on The Front Page, but certain differences make it practically a new story. Hildy Johnson, the hero, used to be a man. Tonight, Hildy is a lady, a very charming lady, Claudette Colbert. Walter Burns, the autocrat of the editorial rooms, is just as autocratic as ever, with Fred McMurray in the part. And between rapid adventures with an escaped maniac, a crooked sheriff, a last-minute reprieve, and a kidnapped mother-in-law, they even managed to find time for romance. I'm sure every woman will agree that the silent partner of romance is loveliness. And that's why so many millions of women choose Lux toilet soap. They know that Lux toilet soap is a very active partner of loveliness. Now a quick signal to the switchboard. The footlights brighten and the curtain rises on the first act of His Girl Friday, starring Claudette Colbert as Hildy Johnson and Fred McMurray as Walter Burns, with Jack Carson as Bruce Baldwin. When a young and charming ex-wife drops in to see her ex-husband, there usually arises what is known as a delicate situation, particularly when she brings along her new fiancé. But Hildy Johnson, our ex-wife, was never fazed by a delicate situation. Bruce Baldwin, the new fiancé, was not consulted in the matter, and Walter Burns, the ex-husband and managing editor of the Morning Post, doesn't know about it yet. He's in his office as Hildy barges cheerfully through the city room, her fiancé a few steps to the rear.
Hi, Hello, Skitty. How are you, Ruth? Hello, Maisie. Hildy Johnson. How are you?
Hey, what are you doing here? You coming back to work, Hildy?
No, just visiting. This is my fiancé, Mr. Baldwin.
Oh, hello.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
Tell me, is the Lord of the Universe in?
Mr. Burns? Yes, he's in a bad humor.
Is that unusual?
He's got Louis Peluso in there with him. You want to be announced, Hildy?
No. I'll blow my own horn. Bruce, he's in, so you'd better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
What did you say?
Oh,
I'll go on, Bruce.
Well, I said even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
I heard you the first time. I like it. That's why I asked you to say it again. You know, I can stand being spoiled a little. The gentleman I'm going in to see did very little spoiling.
I'd like to spoil him just once. Are you sure you don't want me to go in with you?
No, I can handle it. You just keep your eye on that door. See, Walter Burns, managing editor. I'll be coming out in 10 minutes.
Well, if it gets rough, remember I'm here.
I'll come running, partner. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye.
Okay, call me right back.
Morning, Mr. Burns. Hello, Louis.
Hey, boss, your ex-wife is here.
Hello, I can't hear you.
How have you been, Mr. Peluso? How's the big slot machine king?
No, I ain't doing that no more. I'm retired, know what I mean?
No.
I'm a newspaper man now, working for Mr. Burns.
Okay, goodbye. Hildy! Hello, Hildy.
Hello, Walter.
Say, this is great. Outside, Louis.
Sure.
Gee, honey, you look swell.
Walter, I've got to see you right away.
No, not now, Duffy.
But listen.
No, I'm busy.
Walter, I thought you ought to know that the governor did not sign that reprieve.
What?
And tomorrow morning, Earl Williams dies and makes a sucker out of us. What are you going to do?
Excuse me, Hildy.
Oh, sure.
Get the governor on the phone, Duffy.
I can't. He's out fishing.
Well, get him anyhow. Tell him if he reprieves Earl Williams, we'll support him for senator.
What?
Tell him the Morning Post will be behind him, hook, line, and sinker.
But you can't do that.
Why not?
Because we've been against him for 6 years.
All right, after we get the reprieve, we'll be against him again.
But, Walter...
Come on, Duffy, get going.
All right.
Well, Walter, I see you're still at it.
Yeah, first time I ever double-crossed the governor. Hildy, you look prettier than ever.
Well, thanks. You mind if I sit down?
Well, there's a lamp burning in the window for you, honey.
I jumped out of that window a long time ago.
Yeah.
How long since we've seen each other?
Well, let's see. I was in Reno 6 weeks, and then Bermuda, about 4 months, I guess. Seems like yesterday to me.
Maybe it was yesterday, Hildy. Been seeing me in your dreams?
No. Mama doesn't dream about you anymore, Walter. You wouldn't know the old girl now.
Oh, yes, I would. I'd know you anytime, any
place,
anywhere.
anywhere. Yes, you're repeating yourself, honey. That's the speech you made the night you proposed.
Yeah, I noticed you still remember it.
Of course I remember it. If I hadn't remembered it, I wouldn't have divorced you.
Yeah. You know, Hildy, I sort of wish you hadn't done that.
Done what?
Divorced me. Makes a fellow lose all faith in himself. Gives him a feeling he isn't wanted.
Now, look, Junior, that's what divorces are for.
Oh, nonsense. You've got an old-fashioned idea that divorces are something that lasts forever. But divorces don't mean a thing nowadays, Hildy. Just a few words mumbled over you by a judge. We've got something between us nothing can change.
I suppose you're right in a way.
Sure, I'm right.
I am fond of you, you know.
Atta girl.
I often wish you weren't such a stinker.
It's a nice thing to say.
Why did you promise not to fight the divorce and then do everything you could to gum up the whole work?
Oh, Hildy, I only acted like any husband that didn't want to see his home broken up.
What home?
What home? Don't you remember the home I promised you?
Sure I do. That's the one we were to have right after our honeymoon. Yes, the honeymoon.
Now, was that my fault? Did I know the coal mine was going to cave in? I intended to be with you on our honeymoon, Hildy. Honest, I did.
All I know is that instead of 2 weeks in Atlantic City with my bridegroom, I spent 2 weeks in a coal mine with John Krupski. You don't deny that, do you?
Deny it? I'm proud of it. We beat the whole country on that story.
Well, suppose we did. That isn't what I got married for.
Oh, Hildy, what's the use of fighting? I'll tell you what. You come back to work in the paper, and if we find we can't get along in a friendly way, we'll get married again.
What?
Sure. I haven't got any hard feelings.
Walter, you're wonderful in a loathsome sort of way.
You mean you won't come back to work in the paper?
You're right, Mr. Burns. The first time today.
You got a better offer, huh?
You bet I've got a better offer.
All right, go on, take it. Work for somebody else. That's the gratitude I get. What were you when you came here 5 years ago? A little college girl from a school of journalism. I took a little doll-faced punk
and... you wouldn't have taken me if I hadn't been doll-faced.
Well, whatever. I made a great reporter out of you.
It just didn't work out well.
Well, it would have worked if you'd been satisfied with just being editor and reporter. But not you. You had to marry me and spoil everything.
I suppose I proposed to you.
Well, you practically did. Made goo-goo eyes at me for 2 years.
Why, you...
Hey, put down that inkwell. Ah, Hildy, you're losing your eyes. Used to be able to pitch better than that. Hello?
Hello, Walter. This is Duffy again.
Oh, hello, Sweeney. What can I do for you?
Now, wait a minute. I'm not Sweeney. I'm Duffy.
Sweeney, you can't do that to me. Not today of all days.
What's the matter with you? Are you loony? This is Duffy.
Now, listen, Sweeney. This is no time to...
Walter, I have to.
All right, then. If you have to, you have to, I guess.
He had to, huh?
How do you like that? Everything happens to me.
What's the matter?
Sweeney, the only man in the paper that can write, and he has to pick today to have a baby.
Well, he didn't do it on purpose, did he?
I don't care whether he did or not. He's supposed to cover the Earl Williams case, and where is he? Walking up and down in a hospital. Is there no sense of honor in this country?
Haven't you got anybody else?
No, there's nobody else in the paper who can write. This will break me, and I... Hildy. Hildy, you've got to help me.
No, sir.
Don't let me down in my darkest hour. It'll bring us together again, Hildy, like we used to be.
Oh, scram, Svengali.
Well, if you won't do it for love, how about money? I'll raise you $25 a week.
Will you listen to me, you great big bumble-headed baboon? Do you see this on my finger? Do you know what it is? It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring? No.
Well, I tried to tell you right away, but you would start reminiscing. I'm getting married, Walter, and I'm also getting as far away from the newspaper business as I can get.
Huh?
I'm through.
No, Hildy. You can get married all you want, but you can't quit the newspaper business.
No, why not?
It'd kill you. You're a newspaper man. You're a journalist, Hildy.
A journalist? Now, what does that mean? Peeking through keyholes, chasing after fire engines, stealing pictures off old ladies. Oh, I know all about reporters, Walter. A lot of daffy Budinskis running around without a nickel in their pockets. And for what? Just to... Oh, well, what's the use? You wouldn't know what it means to me anyway. I want to be respectable and live a halfway normal life. The point is, I'm through.
Where'd you meet this man?
Bermuda?
Rich, huh?
No, he's not what you'd call rich.
What's his line?
He's in the insurance business.
The insurance business?
Well, that's a good, honest business, isn't it?
Oh, sure. It's also adventurous and romantic. Now, listen, Hildy, I can't picture you being surrounded by policies.
I can, and what's more, I like it. Besides, he forgets the office when he's with me. He doesn't treat me like an animal either, Walter. He treats me like a woman.
Oh, he does he? How'd I treat you, like a water buffalo?
I don't know about water buffaloes, but I know about him. Oh, he's kind and sweet, and he's considerate. He wants a home and children.
Sounds more like a guy I ought to marry. What's his name?
Baldwin. Bruce Baldwin.
Baldwin. I knew a Baldwin once, a horse thief in Mississippi. Couldn't be the same fella, could it?
You're not talking about the man I'm marrying tomorrow.
Tomorrow? As soon as that, huh?
Yeah. No. Well, at last I got out what I came up here to tell you. I guess there isn't any more to the story. So long, Walter.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Hildy. You kind of took the wind out of my sails. Look, honey, I just want to wish you everything I couldn't give you.
Thank you, Walter.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet him. I'm more or less particular about whom my wife marries. Where is he?
Well, he's right on the job waiting for me outside.
Oh, well, you mind if I meet him?
Of course not.
Well, then come on. Let's see this Paragon. Is he as good as you say?
He's better.
Well, then what does he want with you?
Well, now you got me. Bruce, dear.
Yes, Hildy?
Bruce, I want you to meet Mr. Burns. Mr. Baldwin, my fiancé.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Burns?
Oh, go on. It's a gag.
Huh?
It's a gag. You're not Bruce Baldwin.
Walter, what are you trying to...
Really, is he? Certainly, Bruce Baldwin.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Baldwin. Hildy, you led me to believe you were marrying a much older man.
Oh, really? And what did I say that
Oh,
led you to...
don't worry about it. I realize you didn't mean older in years.
Oh.
Do you always carry an umbrella, Bruce?
Yeah, well, it looked a little cloudy this morning.
That's right, it did. Rubbers, too, I hope.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. Man ought to be prepared for any emergency.
Bruce, I think we'd better be running along.
Yeah, we better get going.
Where are we going?
Oh, I'm taking you two to lunch. Hildy, didn't you tell him?
No, she didn't.
You're wasting your time, Walter. It won't do a bit of good.
Oh, no, glad to do it. Well. So you two are going to get married, huh? You're getting a great girl, Bruce.
I realize that.
Yes, and you're getting something else, too, Bruce. You're getting a great newspaper man.
No orchids, Walter.
One of the best I ever knew. Sorry to see you go, Hildy. Darn sorry.
I'd like to believe you meant that.
I do mean it. But I know what you want, Hildy. You want a home.
Well, I'll certainly try to give her one.
I know you will, Bruce. Where are you going to live?
Albany.
Albany, huh? Got a family there, Bruce?
Oh, just my mother.
Oh, your mother, huh? You going to live with her?
Well, just for the first year.
That'll be nice. A home with mother. In Albany, too. Ow, hey, Hilda, what'd you kick me for?
I'm sorry, Walter. My foot must have slipped.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a drink, shall we? What do you say? Hey, guys.
Oh, no, not for me. I've got to buy the tickets yet and check the baggage. We're taking the sleeper for Albany.
Oh, are you leaving today?
Uh-huh, 4 o'clock. We're getting married tomorrow.
Well, let me get this straight. You mean you're taking the sleeper today and then getting married tomorrow?
Oh, well, it's not like that.
Well, what is it like?
Oh, poor Walter. He'll toss and turn all night, Bruce. You'd better tell him Mother's coming along, too.
Mother? Well, your mother kicked the bucket 3 years ago.
Oh, no, my mother. My mother.
Oh, your mother.
Yeah.
Well, that relieves my mind.
No, it was cruel to let you suffer that way, wasn't it? Isn't Walter sweet, Bruce? Always wanting to protect me.
Well, I admit I wasn't much of a husband, but you can always count on me.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah, guys.
You're one on the phone.
Oh, thanks. Excuse me, will you? I'll be right back.
Not at all.
Don't be long. We've got to leave.
Right away. Hello?
Hello, Walter. This is Duffy.
Oh, Duffy, I'm glad you called.
About that leak.
No, forget it. Listen. Is there any way we could stop the 4 o'clock train to Albany from leaving town?
Sure. We got dynamite.
Oh, okay, never mind. Now get this. Get hold of Sweeney and send him out of town on a 2-week vacation right away.
But, Walter, he's covering the Williams hanging.
Keep your shirt on. Hildy's coming back in the paper.
She is?
Yeah, she doesn't know it yet, but she's staying. And listen, tell Louis to stick around the office. I may need him. In the meantime,
I kind of wish you'd hurry up. You know, Hildy, he's not such a bad fellow.
No, he should make some girl really happy. Slap happy.
I sort of like him. He's got a lot of charm.
Yeah, he comes by it naturally. His grandfather was a snake.
Here he is. Say, he looks all upset.
Sorry, folks.
Something wrong, Walter?
Yeah, bad business.
What's the matter?
The Earl Williams case.
Oh, yes, I've been reading about that.
What's the lowdown?
Well, simple, honey. The poor little dope lost his job. Went nuts and shot a cop who was coming after him to quiet him down, and now they're going to hang him tomorrow.
Well, if he was out of his mind when he did it, why doesn't the state just put him away?
Because there happens to be an election coming up in a couple of days.
And nothing brings in the votes like a good old-fashioned hanging.
Well, I should think you could show the man wasn't responsible.
No, that's not so easy.
Well, maybe it's not so hard either.
What do you mean, Hildy?
Well, don't they have to have another expert examine him before they hang him?
Oh, sure. A guy named Egelhofer's going to do it. Why?
Well, look, Walter. You get an interview with Earl Williams.
Yeah?
Print Egelhofer's statement.
Yeah?
And right alongside it, double column, you run your interview. Alienist says he's sane. Interview shows he's goofy.
Hildy, you could do it. You could save that poor devil's life.
No.
Oh, that's right. You're going away. I forgot.
Well, how long would the interview take?
Oh, only an hour for the interview and another hour to write it, that's all.
Well, Hildy, we could take the 6 o'clock train if it would save a man's life.
Oh, sure.
No. Walter, if you want to save Earl Williams' life, you can just interview him yourself. Or else get Sweeney. He's the best man you've got on that paper for start stuff.
Poor Sweeney. Duffy just told me. His wife finally had twins. Isn't that terrible? So Sweeney goes out to celebrate and falls down a flight of steps. Sweeney has twins, so Earl Williams hangs tomorrow.
Oh, now, Walter, it isn't as bad as that.
Oh, look, Bruce, argue with her, will you? Argue with her. Otherwise, you're going on a honeymoon with blood on your hands. How can you have any happiness after that? All through the years, you remember that a man went to the gallows because she was too selfish to wait 2 hours.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
I just remembered. Sweeney only got married 4 months ago.
You win.
Then Mrs. Sweeney didn't have twins?
No, honey, the twins were Walter's.
No, it was nothing. Here, we'll start all over again. I'll offer you two a business proposition. Bruce, I understand you're in the insurance game.
Don't listen to him, Bruce. I know all his tricks from
Hildy,
way
I'm
back.
talking to him. Now, look, Bruce. You persuade Hildy to do this story, and you can write a nice, fat policy for me. What do you say?
Oh, no, Mr. Burns. I won't use my wife for business purposes.
Wait a minute. How big a policy, Walter?
Oh, 25,000?
What?
50,000? 100?
Bruce, what's the commission on a $100,000 policy?
Around $1,000.
So what's wrong with $1,000? How long would it take to get him examined?
Well, I could get a company doctor here in 20 minutes.
Okay, I'll get the story.
Now you're talking.
You keep out of this. Bruce, take him down to the office and see if they'll allow anything on that carcass of his.
Say I'm better now than I ever was.
That's nothing to brag about. And look, Bruce, after you get the check, you phone me. I'll be in the press room of the criminal court building. Oh, Walter.
Yeah?
I think you'd better make that a certified check.
What do you think I am, a crook?
Yes.
All right, it'll be certified. Want my fingerprints?
No, thanks. I've still got those. Bruce, how much money have you got on you?
Well, you know everything we have. $500.
Well, give me the $500.
But I have to get the ticket.
No, I'll buy the ticket.
But, Hildy,
Oh, really, darling? I know what I'm doing. He'd get you in a crap game. Now, please.
Well, all right. Here you are.
Thanks. And when you've finished examining this imperfect specimen, remember now, call me. Press room, criminal court building.
I will. Be careful now.
Never mind me. Watch out for yourself. You're in bad company.
Hello, press room. Accused speaking. Hey, who is this? Oh, the sheriff. Oh, hiya, Sheriff. Oh, wait a minute, I'll ask him. Hey. Hey! Sheriff Hartwell says we're making too much noise.
Tell him to go soak his head.
Go soak your head, Sheriff. I got 3/8.
Hiya, boys.
Hey, look, it's Hildy's son.
Hi, Eddie. Hiya, Joe.
Hiya, Hildy. Glad to see you.
Glad to see you.
Coming back to work, Hildy?
No. This is just a farewell appearance. I'm going into business for myself.
What doing?
I'm getting married tomorrow.
Hey, you're not fooling us, are you,
No,
Hildy?
on the level. Look what I've got right here. 3 tickets for Albany on the 6 o'clock train tonight.
What do you mean, 3 tickets?
Me and my beau and, hats off, boys, his sweet darling Ma.
What? Your mother-in-law?
What kind of marriage is that?
No, it's going to be all right. I'm going to settle down. I'm through with the newspaper business.
Oh, sure. Hey, can you picture Hildy singing lullabies and hanging out the dides? And swapping lies over the back fence?
Sour grapes, boys.
She'll be back as soon as she gets tired beating rug. Too bad you can't stick around till tomorrow, Hildy. You're missing a nice hanging.
Say, I have to do a yarn on Williams. Did he know what he was doing when he fired that gun?
Yes, us, no. If you ask the state alienist, the answer is yes.
Press room. Huh? Who? Oh, yeah, she's here.
Is that for me?
Yes.
Here, hand it over. Hello?
Hello, Hildy?
Oh, yes, darling. Did you get the check from Walter?
Sure, certified and everything. I got it right here in my pocket.
In your pocket. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
No, wait a minute. Maybe it isn't so fine. Where are you?
I'm in Mr. Burns' office.
Well, now, look, Bruce. I don't want you to carry that check around in your pocket.
Hildy, it's all right. Check is made out to the company. Nobody can cash it, and anyway, I wouldn't lose a check like that. It means too much to us. Don't worry, Hildy.
Now, look, Bruce. Do what I say, will you? I don't want you to carry that check in your pocket, please.
Yeah, but I think it's all right.
There's an old newspaper superstition that the first big check you get, you put in the lining of your hat. See? It brings you luck.
Well, Hildy, that's silly.
I know, darling, but do it for me.
Oh, all right.
And look, tell Walter I'm going right over to Earl Williams' cell to get the interview. I'll phone it in as soon as I can.
I'll tell him.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Everything all right, Bruce?
Oh, yes, Hildy said to tell you she'd get right to work.
Oh, fine.
Well, I must be going now. Thanks again, Mr. Burns.
Oh, don't mention it, Bruce. Don't mention it. I'd do anything for you and Hildy.
Yes, I'm beginning to realize that. Well, goodbye, Mr. Burns.
Goodbye, Bruce. Oh, and don't forget your umbrella. Might rain, you know.
Huh? Oh, thanks. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey, Louie. Louie, come in here.
Yeah, boss.
Come here. Listen, did you see the guy that just left here?
That dope?
Yeah, I want you to follow him. He's on his way to the railroad station to get the 6 o'clock train for Albany. He's not supposed to get there, see?
I get it. What'll I do to him, boss?
I don't care what you do to him, but try to keep it legal.
Leave it to me.
Hello? Hello, is this the press room? I want to speak to Miss Johnson.
Hello, who is this?
Hildy, is this you?
Oh, hello, Bruce. What is it?
Hildy, something terrible has happened. I'm in jail.
What?
Some fella says I stole his watch.
Stole his watch? What are you talking about?
Some fella on the street. He said I stole his watch, and he had me arrested.
What fellow? Who?
I never saw him before. His name is Louis Peluso.
Louis Peluso. Oh, Bruce, where are you?
I'm in jail. He says that
I know. What jail?
The 43rd precinct. Hildy, I didn't steal his...
Oh, I know you didn't. Never mind that now. Bruce, sit tight. I'll have you out in 10 minutes.
Hello, Murphy calling. I'm still in the press room. Nothing new on the Williams case. I'll call you if something happens.
Hello, boys.
Well, Sheriff Caldwell.
Sheriff, this is an honor.
Got the kidding, boys. Here, I got the tickets for the hanging. One each, that's all.
Hey, Pete, why can't you hang this guy at 5 o'clock instead of 7?
Sure, it wouldn't hurt you, and we can make the city edition.
Well, that's kind of raw, fellas. You can't hang a man in his sleep just to please a newspaper.
No, but you can reprieve him twice so the hanging is 3 days before election.
Yeah, so you and the mayor can run on a law and order ticket.
Honest, boys, I had absolutely nothing to do with those reprieves.
Yeah? How do we know there won't be another reprieve tonight?
What if this guy Egelhopper finds Williams insane?
He won't find him insane because he isn't. He's just as sane as I am.
Sane?
Oh, you fellas make me tired. You try to do a decent turn for you once.
Hiya, Hildy. Where'd you been?
To the 43rd Precinct. Hello, Post. This is Hildy Johnson. Get Walter Burns on the phone.
What's the matter, Hildy? You look sore.
Oh, you stick around and watch your lady burn.
Uh-oh, something...
Hello? Hello, Walter. This is Hildy.
How are you, Hildy?
I've got some news for you.
Oh, swell. You got the interview?
Yeah, I've got something much more important. Maybe you better get a pencil and take it down.
All set, Hildy. Let it go.
Now get this, you double-crossing chimpanzee. There isn't going to be any interview.
Wait a minute,
And there
Hildy.
isn't going to be any story. And that certified check of yours leaves with me in 20 minutes. I wouldn't cover the burning of Rome for you if they were just lighting it. And if I ever lay my two eyes on you again, I'll hammer that monkey skull of yours so it rings like a Chinese gong.
Hey, what are you sore about?
Oh, you don't know what I'm sore about?
No.
Well, maybe you'd better get Louis to tell you the story of his watch. Goodbye.
Listen, Hildy.
Nice going, Hildy.
That's telling him.
That, gentlemen, was my farewell speech to journalism. Goodbye, boys. I'm off to Albany.
Send us a postcard, kid.
I'll do that.
When will we see you again, Hildy?
Well, the next time you see me, I'll be riding in the limousine giving out interviews on success. So long.
What the... Was that a shot? It sure sounded like it. Hey, listen. It's a jailbreak.
Come here, that window.
What?
Hey, what's the matter down there? What's happened?
What's that gate? Close that gate!
Cooley! Who got away? Who was it?
Earl Williams!
Earl Williams, where is he?
Give me a phone.
Give me a phone. Tribune. Earl Williams just broke jail.
Hey, you're shooting, you dope. Look out where you're aiming.
We better get out of here.
There's some phones in the state's attorney's office.
Come on.
Hello, Post. Hildy Johnson. Get me Walter Burns, quick. Hello, Walter. This is Hildy.
Hi, listen, Hildy.
Shut up. Earl Williams just escaped from jail.
What?
That's all I know. Stick by the phone till you hear from me.
Hildy, have you covered
Yeah,
the yard?
don't worry. I'm on the job.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars Claudette Colbert, Fred McMurray, and Jack Carson will bring you Act Two of His Girl Friday. And now, oh, Sally. What does that remind you of?
Why, that tune always makes me think of the old South, of dashing young officers courting charming little Southern belles. Oh, it makes me think of magnolia trees and crinolines and organdy ruffles and, well, Scarlett O'Hara.
Good. And this tune, Sally.
Oh, everybody thinks of Lux toilet soap when they hear that, Mr. Ruick. Yes, Lux toilet soap.
Right. And now, if you add those two tunes together, it reminds you that the makers of Lux toilet soap have captured the charm of the Old South for you in their exquisite Scarlett O'Hara brooch. The brooch is a lovely simulated cameo designed after one worn by Vivian Leigh in Gone with the Wind. The piece consists of a pure white head in classic profile against a glistening ebony background. It's the sort of brooch every woman longs to own and would be more than proud to wear, because the brooch is truly beautiful, and it's expensive looking, too, with its distinctive gold-finished setting. It has every single detail. It has so many touches that make for beauty and quality, including a safety clasp.
Well, don't forget to tell everyone how easy it is to get one of those brooches, Mr. Ruick.
Yes, Sally, thanks. It's as easy as falling in love with the lovely Lux toilet soap complexion. Now, here's all you do. Just go to your dealer, buy 3 cakes of gentle white Lux toilet soap, and ask him for an order blank. Or write your name and address on a piece of paper and send it with the 3 Lux toilet soap wrappers and 15 cents in coins, no stamps, please, to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. I'll repeat that. Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. It's as easy as that. And your Scarlett O'Hara brooch will be mailed to you promptly. Only, please don't delay. With your brooch, you'll receive an illustrated order blank for handsome matching pieces to complete your Scarlett O'Hara ensemble. Ring, bracelet, pendant, earrings. All beautifully designed, all at amazing bargain prices. So get your 3 cakes of Lux toilet soap tomorrow and send the wrappers and 15 cents in coin for your Scarlett O'Hara brooch to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States.
And now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act 2 of His Girl Friday, starring Claudette Colbert as Hildy Johnson and Fred McMurray as Walter Burns, with Jack Carson as Bruce Baldwin. With the maniac Earl Williams roaming free in the city, things are happening fast around the criminal courts building. The press room is deserted for the moment, when suddenly Hildy Johnson sweeps through the door and grabs the telephone.
Hello, Post. Walter Burns, right away.
Hildy?
Walter, listen. I've got the whole story on how Williams escaped, and I've got it exclusive.
Exclusive?
Yeah, that's right. And it's a pip. But it cost me $450 to tear it out of Cooley.
Well, never mind. What's the story?
Now, just a minute. I'm telling you first, I had to give him all the money I had on me. And it wasn't exactly mine. It's Bruce's money, and I want it back.
Bruce's money? Sure, you'll get it. I swear it on my mother's grave.
All right. Wait a minute. Your mother's alive.
Oh, don't be so technical, Hildy. What's the story?
All right, here. It's the jailbreak of your dreams. Listen, this expert Egelhoff, with a profound thinker from New York, was giving Williams a final sanity test in the sheriff's office.
Yeah?
You know, sticking a lot of pins in him to get his reflexes. Yeah? Well, he decided to reenact the crime exactly as it had taken place, so as to study Williams' powers of coordination.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he had to have a gun to reenact the crime with. And who do you suppose supplied it? Sheriff Peter B. Hartwell, B for brains.
No kidding, Hildy.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not good enough to make this one up.
Go on.
Well, the sheriff gave his gun to the professor gave it to Earl, and Earl shot the professor in the stomach and jumped out of the window.
Hildy, this is terrific. Was Egelhofer hurt?
No, not badly. They took him to the county hospital where they're awfully afraid he'll recover.
Oh, that's great work, Hildy.
Yeah. Now, what about my $450?
You'll get it in 15 minutes.
I'd better get it in 15 minutes.
Listen, Hildy, have I ever lied to you? I tell you, you'll have that dough right away.
Louis is right here in the office, and I'll send him over to the press room with it.
All right, Walter. I'll trust you once more, but don't fail me, will you? Bruce is waiting downstairs in a taxi.
Oh, he is? Wait a minute, Hildy. Hey, Louis. Louis, come here.
Yeah, boss.
Is that Bangle Dame outside?
You mean that blonde babe? Yeah.
Get her in here.
Walter, listen.
Just a minute, Hildy. Be right with you.
Here she is, boss.
Hiya, Walter.
Come here. I'll get this straight. There's a guy waiting in a taxi in front of the criminal courts building. His name is Bruce Baldwin.
Walter?
Get over there right away.
You want me to go into my act?
Yeah, can you handle him?
I never flopped on you yet, have I?
All right, beat it. You've only got 10 minutes.
Say, Walter, I'm still on here.
Okay, Hildy. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Walter, about that $450.
I know. Hold on a minute. Hey, Louis, I need $450 in counterfeit money.
$450?
Yeah, in counterfeit. Can you get it for me?
I got that much right here in my pocket.
Well, that's a coincidence. Take it over to Hildy.
Do you want I should tell him it's phony?
No, you dope. Just give it to her.
Okay.
Hello, Hildy. It's on the way.
Well, it's better, babe. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Hildy. Oh, and Hildy, good luck on your honeymoon, honey.
Press room. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hey, Hildy Johnson.
Right here. Thanks. Hello?
Hello, Hildy.
Bruce, I thought you were waiting in the taxi.
Hildy, something awful has happened.
What?
Hildy, listen. I'm in jail again.
Oh, for the love of... What for?
Well, they called it mashing.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
Oh, no, Hildy. I was sitting right in the taxi right where you left me, and the young lady seemed to have a dizzy spell. And...
Well, was she a blonde?
Yeah, she's a blonde, very blonde.
Oh,
And
never mind. I know what happened. Bruce, where are you?
the 26th precinct.
All right, I'll get you out as soon as I can. Goodbye.
Anything I can do, Hildy?
Yeah, you can stab Walter Burns in the back for me, that dirty double. Oh. Listen, I've got to bail somebody out again. How much money have you got?
$1.80.
Andy, how about you?
64 cents.
Oh, thanks. You can buy an annuity.
Hey, Hildy, look sore again.
Press room, McHugh speaking. No, I can't get an official statement yet. Hey, boys, here's the mayor. Wait a minute. The mayor just walked in. I'll call you back. What do you say, Mayor? How about a statement? Come on, Mayor. Get out.
Quiet, please. Don't pester me now, boys. I've got a lot on my mind. Have you seen Sheriff Hartwell?
It's hard to tell you, Ronnie. You see, there's so many cockroaches around here.
Wait a minute. What about that statement, John? Sure, we go to press in 20 minutes.
Boys.
Give us a statement on the election. Yeah, what effect is all this going to have on the voters?
None whatsoever. How can an unavoidable misfortune like this have any influence on the upright citizens of our fair city?
Baloney.
Excuse me, boys. This is Honor here. Where's the mayor?
Hi, Sheriff.
Here, Sheriff.
Mayor, I've been looking all over for you.
I've been looking for you. We've got to have a talk, Sheriff.
And so do we. What's the dope, Sheriff? How did Williams get out? And what was he doing in your office, Sheriff? Where did he get the gun?
Now, wait. Just a minute, boys, and I'll tell you. I've got him located.
Oh, Williams? Where?
Out at the place he used to live on Center Street. I just got the tip.
Why didn't you say so?
The rifle squad's just going out. Well, Mayor, you wanted to see me?
I certainly did. Pete, you're through.
Through?
I mean, I'm scratching your name off the ticket Tuesday and running Sherman in your place.
Oh, now, Fred, I'm doing everything I can.
Well, it ain't enough. Do you realize there are 200,000 votes at stake, and if Earl Williams don't hang, we're going to lose him?
But we're going to hang him, Fred. He can't get away. Come in.
Excuse me, I'm looking
What do you want?
Are you Sheriff Hartwell?
I'm Hartwell. What is it?
You're a hard fellow to find, Sheriff. I have a message here from the governor.
What from the governor?
It's a reprieve for Earl Williams.
For who?
Earl Williams, reprieve.
Pete, you said there wasn't going to be a reprieve.
Fred, please.
It frightens me to think of what I'd like to do to you.
Fred.
Shut up. You, come here.
You mean me?
Yeah. Who else was there when the governor gave you this reprieve?
Nobody. He was out fishing.
Pete, get the governor on the phone.
Oh, he's not there now. He's out duck shooting.
Fishing? Duck shooting? A guy does nothing more strenuous for 40 years than play pinochle. He gets elected governor, and right away he thinks he's Tarzan.
Look at this reprieve, Fred. Insane, he says. He knows very well that Williams isn't insane.
Well, I never met the man, but...
Hello? Yes, this is Hartwell. What? Where? Holy Moses. Hold the wire a minute.
Well, what is it?
They got Williams. They got him surrounded. The rifle squad has him out in his house.
Tell him to hold the wire.
Hold the wire.
Cover up that transmitter. You, come here. Now listen. You never arrived with this reprieve, get it?
Yes, I did. Don't you remember? I came in that door.
How much do you make a week?
$22.50.
How would you like to have a job for $350 a month? That's almost $100 a week.
Who, me?
Well, who do you think? Now, listen. They need a fella like you in the city sealer's office.
In the what?
In the city sealer's office.
You mean I should work in the city?
Yes.
Oh, my wife wouldn't like that.
Well, why not?
Well, you see, my wife lives with my family in the country.
Well, that's all right. Just bring her here. We'll pay all your expenses.
Oh, this puts me in a peculiar position.
No, it doesn't. Now, remember, you never delivered this reprieve. You got caught in traffic or something. Now, get out of here and don't let anybody see you.
Yes, but how do I know?
Come in my office tomorrow. No, by the way, what's your name?
Pettibone. What's yours?
Pettibone.
Really?
No. Listen. All you've got to do is to lay low and keep your mouth shut.
Well, I'm tired anyhow.
All right, now beat it.
Okay, but it's a funny thing.
Go on, beat it. Get out.
Hello, wait a minute. What'll I tell him, Mayor?
Tell him to shoot to kill.
What?
You heard what I said.
But the reprieve...
Quiet and do as I tell you.
Hello, Olson. Shoot to kill. That's orders.
Come in.
Hiya, Hildy.
Oh, it's you double-crossing hyena. What did you and Mr. Burns pull this time?
What's the matter, Hildy?
Don't give me that innocent stuff. You had Mr. Baldwin thrown in the jug again.
Who, me?
Oh, shut up. Did you bring that money?
Oh, yeah, $400.
$450.
All right, you can't blame a guy for trying. Here, you better give me a receipt.
I'll give you a scar.
Yeah, I got plenty of them. So long, Hildy.
So long, you rat. Hello, operator. I want to call the 26th Precinct Police Station.
Off that phone, or I'll kill you.
Never mind, operator. Hello, Earl.
You're not going to tell anybody where I am. I got away from them. Across the roof, down the fire escape. They'll never get me.
Earl, put down that gun.
No, I won't.
No, you're not going to shoot me, Earl. I'm your friend, remember?
Yeah.
I was in your cell a little while ago. I've got to write that story about you, remember? You don't want to hurt your friends,
Don't
Earl.
you move. Maybe you're my friend, and maybe you're not. You can't trust anybody in this crazy world.
I don't blame you. If I were in your place, I wouldn't trust anybody either.
Wait a minute. Where you going?
I was just going to pull down the shade so no one will see you.
No, you're not. You're going to get somebody.
No, I wouldn't get anybody, Earl.
Yes, you will. You get him after me again. I won't let you do it.
No.
I'll kill you.
No, Earl, don't shoot.
I guess I fired all the shells.
Oh. Earl, give me that gun.
I'm awful tired.
Now, listen. Those reporters will be coming back here any minute.
I don't care. I'm not afraid to die. I was telling the fella that when he handed me the gun.
Keep quiet. Hello, Post. Walter Burns.
Waking me up in the middle of the night. Talking to me about things they don't understand.
Shut up.
I wish they'd take me back and hang me.
They will if you don't keep quiet.
Burns talking.
Walter, Hildy, something terrific's happened. You better get down here right away.
What's the matter?
I've got Earl Williams.
What?
Earl Williams right here in the press room. I've got him.
On the level?
So help me, but hurry, I need you.
Open up. Hildy, open up.
Walter.
Well, where is he?
Oh, I thought you'd never get here.
Come on in, Louis. Close that door.
Okay, boss.
I brought Louis along just in case. Now, where's Williams?
He's in the desk.
What? What desk?
That's the big one there. I stuck him in there and pulled down the roller.
No. Well, open it up and let's get a look at him. Hiya, Williams.
Let me out of here. I can't stand it in here.
Shut up. You're sitting pretty. Hey, get back in there. Who's that at the door?
I don't know.
Hildy, let me in.
Oh, for the love of Mike, it's Bruce's mother.
Hildy.
Coming.
Hildy, are you crazy? Don't let that dame in here.
I've got to. I'll get rid of her right away.
Well,
Oh, come in, Mother.
don't you mother me, playing cat and mouse with my poor boy, keeping him locked up.
Mother, I can explain
Making
that.
us miss 2 trains, and you're supposed to get married tomorrow.
I'll go with you in 5 minutes.
You don't have to go with me at all. Just give me Bruce's money, and you can stay here forever as far as I'm
Oh,
concerned.
please, Mother.
Shut up.
What was that?
What, lady, what?
There's a man in that desk.
Oh, don't be silly, lady. What would a man be doing in a desk?
There's something funny here.
Shut up, will you, lady?
I won't shut up. You're doing something wrong.
Mother, please.
Louis, get this dame out of here.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Go on, Louis. Take her over to Pollock Mike.
No.
Hello, lady.
Let me alone.
My name is Louis Peluso.
Walter.
Lock her up and see that she doesn't talk to anyone on the way.
Help!
What do I tell him?
Tell him it's a case of DTs. Go on.
Let me go!
Come
Let me
on,
go!
lady. Come
Don't worry, Mother. This is only temporary. Oh, Walter, what have you done?
Come here, Hildy.
Now, let me go. I've got to go with her. I've got to get Bruce out of jail.
Get Bruce out of jail. How can you worry about a man who's resting in a nice, quiet police station when this is going on? Hildy, this is war. You can't desert me now.
Oh, get off that trapeze. You've got your story right over there in the desk. Go on. Smear it all over the front page. Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post. But I'm getting out.
Oh, you're drooling, idiot. What do you mean you're getting out? There are 365 days in the year you can get married, but how many times have you got a murderer locked up in a desk? Once in a lifetime. Hildy, you got the whole city by the seat of its pants.
Oh, sure, I know.
You know. You've got the brains of a pancake. That wasn't a story you covered. It was a revolution. This is the greatest yarn in journalism since Livingston discovered Stanley.
It's the other way around.
Oh, don't get technical. You realize what you've done? You've taken a city that's been graft-ridden for 40 years under the same old gang, and with one yarn, you're kicking them out.
What?
Sure. We'll make such monkeys out of these war dealers next Tuesday that nobody will vote for them. Not even their own wives.
I get it.
You've kicked over the whole city hall like an apple cart. You put one administration out and the other one in. This isn't just a newspaper story, Hildy. It's a career.
Walter, I never figured it that way.
Oh, you're still a doll-faced hick, that's why.
We'll be the white-haired boys,
Well,
won't we?
sure. Why, Hildy, they'll be naming streets after you. Hildy Johnson Street. There'll be statues of you in the parks. By tomorrow morning, I'll bet you there's a Hildy Johnson cigar. I can see the billboards now. Light up with a Hildy Johnson.
Oh, all right, Walter, stop acting. We have a lot of work to do.
So now you're talking.
What are you going to do with Williams?
Or we'll take him over to my private office. Where's our phone?
That one over there. Now, Walter, how are you going to take him out? They'll see him.
We'll carry the desk over. Hello?
You can't move the desk. It's crawling with cops outside.
Well, we'll lower it out the window with pulleys. Now quit stalling. Come on, start pounding out a lead.
How much do you want on it?
All the words you got. Hello, give me Duffy.
Walter, can I call the mayor a bird of prey?
Call him anything you like. Hello, Duffy. Get set. We've got the biggest story of the year. Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post. Exclusive. Yeah. Hildy.
Oh, Bruce.
Hey, wait a minute, Duffy. What do you want here, Bruce?
I came to see Hildy.
Bruce, I'm awfully busy.
Hildy, I just want you to ask you one question.
How did you get out of jail?
Not through any help of yours.
Hey, listen, will you get out of here?
Bruce, I'll explain the whole thing later.
Where's Mama? She said she was coming up here.
Well, she left.
Oh, where did Mama go?
Oh, I don't know. Out someplace.
I don't understand. Did she get the money?
No. She left in a hurry. The money's right there in my purse. Now, Bruce, $450 right there. Take it.
Hildy, I'm taking the 9 o'clock train.
Oh, let her alone, will you, buddy?
Bruce,
I just wanted you to answer one question. You don't want to come with me, do you?
Oh, Bruce.
Answer me, Hildy. You don't want to, do you?
Now, look here, my
You
good man.
shut up, Burns. You're doing all this to her. She wanted to get away from you and everything you stand for. Hildy, are you going to give up everything for a man like this?
No, I'm not, but something's happened, Bruce. Wait till I tell you.
You tell him nothing. He's a spy.
I'm not a spy.
Hello.
Hildy, you're coming with me right now.
Oh, no, Bruce, give me just a second. Can't you see this is the biggest thing in my life?
Oh, I see what you are now. You're just like Walter Burns and all the rest.
Sure, that's what I am.
Well, I'm glad I found out in time. I'm leaving, Hildy.
Hello, Duffy. Get hold of Butcher Connor.
Well, if you change your mind, I'm leaving on the 9 o'clock train.
Well, where is he?
Wait, Bruce, listen. If you want me, take me as I am instead of trying to turn me into a housewife. I'm not a suburban bridge player. I'm a newspaper man.
That's all I wanted to know. Goodbye, Hildy.
Hildy, have you got that lead?
Have I? Boy, take a look at this. It's terrific.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars, Claudette Colbert, Fred McMurray, and Jack Carson, will bring you Act 3 of His Girl Friday. And now we have an opportunity to take a look at the fall styles through the eyes of an expert, Miss Colma Flake, Western fashion editor of the famous publication Motion Picture Magazine. As a mere man, Miss Flake, I won't presume to ask you specific questions on a subject that I know nothing about. So won't you go just ahead? go right ahead and give us a few highlights on current fashions.
Well, Mr. Ruick, there are several important differences between this and last year's silhouette. While skirts are slimmer and straighter, side drapery is used on some costumes, but only to accent the essential lines of the skirt. In other words, simplicity of line and careful cutting of the fabric are most important. Woolen dresses in soft colors are high style. Many of them are to be worn with short fur jackets. The color of the dress to blend with the fur. By the way, Barbara Stanwyck has such a costume in lovely beige and brown tones. Most women will be glad to hear that satin hats draped close to the head are in style. Worn with a woolen dress, they give that sophisticated look we all love. Paulette Goddard has ordered one in a stunning new light shade of brown. Black, of course, is more popular than ever. There's an effect of richness in many of the black costumes shown. This is achieved by touches of unexpected colors, especially olive, slate blue, or dull gold. The effect is made more striking by a single piece of handsome jewelry. If you have an heirloom piece in gold and black enamel, by all means wear it. Personally, I certainly congratulate you, Mr. Ruick, on offering this beautiful Scarlett O'Hara brooch at this time. It's just the thing from a style point of view as well as lovely in itself. The pure white of the simulated cameo against the glistening ebony background is very striking, and the gold finish setting is very rich looking. It's quite perfect at the neckline of a black dress, or with one of the dark greens or soft blues so popular right now. To sum up, styles will be simple and rich and distinguished looking this fall, and handsome jewelry pieces like this will be just the thing to complete the effect of simplicity and richness.
Thank you, Miss Flake. Again, as a mere man, let me say that I'm glad those little satin hats are back again. I like them. And now let me tell all of you just once more how easy it is to get one of these handsome, simulated cameo brooches of the same design worn by Vivian Lee as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. Just get an order blank from your dealer, or write your name and address on a piece of paper and mail it together with the wrappers from 3 cakes of Lux toilet soap and 15 cents in coin, no stamps, please, to Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. You'll be thrilled and delighted with the beauty and the fine craftsmanship of your Scarlett O'Hara brooch. With your brooch, you'll receive an illustrated order blank telling you how to get additional matching pieces to complete your Scarlett O'Hara ensemble. You can have a ring, bracelet, pendant, earrings, all of the same lovely Scarlett O'Hara design, and all at amazing bargain prices. So don't delay. Send 3 wrappers and 15 cents in coin to Box 1, New York City, for your Scarlett O'Hara brooch tomorrow. Remember the address: Lux Toilet Soap, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States. We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The curtain rises on the 3rd act of His Girl Friday. A few more whirlwind minutes have passed, and the convict Earl Williams is still safe and sound in the roll-top desk. Hildy still types furiously to finish the story for the late edition, and Walter is still on the phone.
Listen, Duffy, did you tell Bush to take a taxi, that every minute counts? Well, who's he bringing with him? All right, stay near the phone. Butch is on his way over with 4 mugs. They're going to help us move off the desk. All we got to do is hold out for 15 minutes.
The boys will be back. They'll be coming in here to phone.
Hey, Williams, are you all right in there?
Knock on the desk.
Hey, listen, Williams. I'm going to knock 3 times. That's our signal, see? You get it? Answer with 3 knocks if you're okay. Atta, baby. 3 knocks is me. Now, don't forget. You got enough air? Ah, good boy. Well, come on, Hildy. Tear into it. Don't sit there like a frozen robin.
I just thought of something. You've messed up my whole life. Do you know that? Bruce is gone. His mother... What am I going to do?
Oh, finish the story, Hildy. Duffy's waiting.
I'd have been on that train by now.
Come on, Hildy.
Oh, what a sap I am falling for your line. Naming streets after me.
Well, you've had a nice rest now. Get back to work, will you? Hello, who is it?
Hey, boss, it's me. It's Louie.
Now, wait a minute. on in quick.
Listen, boss.
Hey, what's the matter, Louis? Where'd you get that black eye?
Boss.
Where's Mrs. Baldwin?
What'd you do with her? Where is she? You been in a fight?
Down Western Avenue we was going, 65 miles an hour. You know what I mean?
Hey, take that mush out of your mouth.
Where's the old lady?
I'm telling you, we run smack into a police patrol. You know what I mean? We busted it in half.
Oh, was she hurt?
Can you imagine bumping into a load of cops? They come rolling out like oranges.
But what did you do with her?
Search me. When I come to, I was running down 34th Street.
Oh, Butterfingers. It'd be an old dame to take somewhere and you hand her over to the cops.
What do you mean I hand her? The cops was on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah, now everything's fine. She's probably squawking her head off in some police station.
I don't think she's squawking much. You know what I mean?
What? Oh, don't tell me. You mean she was killed?
There's an awful good chance.
Oh, my Dad. Oh, this is the end. Oh,
no, it's fate, Hildy. What will be, will be.
But what am I going to say to Bruce? What can I tell him?
Oh, look, honey, if he really loves you, you won't have to tell him anything.
Oh, I killed her. I'm responsible. Oh, what am I going to do? How can I ever face him again?
Look at me, Hildy.
I'm looking at you, you murderer.
Oh, now, if it was my own mother, I'd carry on. You know I would for the paper.
Louis, where did it happen?
Western and 34th.
I'm going out.
Hey, we can do more right here. Now, be calm.
Be calm? How can I?
Hey, listen.
Boss, it's the sheriff.
Yeah, and the reporters from every sheet in town. Now we're in a sweet
Spot
spot.
or no spot, I'm leaving.
Don't open that door, Hildy.
Just a minute, Johnson.
Let me alone.
Don't let her get away, Sheriff.
Take your hands off
Hold her,
me.
boy.
Hey, just a minute, Sheriff. Who do you think you are breaking in here like this?
You can't bluff me, Burns. I don't care who you are or what paper you're editor
Now,
of.
let me go, fellas. Something's happened to Mrs. Baldwin.
Hang on to her.
Hey, what's the idea?
I'll tell you what the idea is. One of the prisoners was looking out of the jail window about an hour ago, and he saw a man come down the fire escape and into this window. That man was Earl Williams.
What are you doing, Hildy? Hiding him for a scoop?
I don't know anything about it. Let me out of
He
here.
knows plenty. Come on, Sheriff. Give her the third degree.
Where is he, Johnson? Where you got him?
You're barking up the wrong tree, Sheriff.
I'll give you 3 minutes to tell me where he is. Come on, where is he?
All right. He went over to the hospital to call on Professor Egelhofer.
What?
Yeah, with a big bag of marshmallows.
Here, lady, is this the place?
Yes, this is the place, officer. Mother, I'm so glad to see you. Are you all right?
That's the man, officer, right there.
What's the idea here? This lady claims she was kidnapped, Sheriff. What?
They dragged me all the way down the stairs and put me in a taxicab.
Just a minute. Did this man here have anything to do with it?
Now, listen,
Why, he was the one in charge of the whole thing. He told them to kidnap me.
Excuse me, madam. Are you referring to me?
You know you did.
What about this, Burns? Kidnapping, huh?
Oh, trying to frame me, eh? I never saw this woman before in my life.
Oh, what a thing to say.
Now, look here, madam. Be honest. If you were out joyriding, plastered, and getting into some scrape, why don't you admit it? Instead of accusing innocent people.
Oh, you ruffian. How dare you talk like that to me?
He's just a little crazy, Mother.
I'll tell you something more.
Yes?
I'll tell you why he did it.
Go on, madam.
I was in here, and they had someone with them. They were hiding him.
Hiding him? In here?
Yes.
Madam, that's a barefaced lie.
What was that?
Burns just banged on that desk. Yeah, but someone banged back.
There's somebody in that desk.
Earl Williams. It's Earl Williams. He's in the desk.
Stand back, you men. Come out, William. Come out, do you hear? We've got you covered. Open that desk. All right. You got me. Now go ahead. Shoot me. Grab it. Grab that man. I got him, Sheriff. Take him down to the jail and swear out a warrant for the arrest of Walter Burns and Hildy Johnson. Sheriff Hartwell speaking. Oh, yes, Prostowski. Come over to the press room as soon as you can. The mayor and I are holding a couple of important birds. We want you to take their confession. Shake it up. Be over in 10 minutes, Mayor.
Fine work, Pete. Fine work. You certainly delivered the goods. I'm proud of you.
Look kind of natural with handcuffs on, don't they, Fred?
A sight for sore eyes.
Aiding an escaped criminal and a little charge of kidnapping.
Looks like about 10 years apiece for you, Bert.
Does it?
Anytime you think you can lick the Morning Post, it's time for you to get out of town.
No, your luck's not with you now. It isn't going to help you this time. You're through.
Listen, the last man who said that to me cut his throat a week later.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. We've been in worse jams than this, haven't we, Hildy?
Nope.
You forget the power that always watches over the Morning Post?
Well, it's not with you now.
Yeah, you're going to be in office about 2 days more.
Yeah, and then we're pulling your nose right out of the feedback.
Oh, the power of the press.
Listen, bigger men than you have found out what the power of the press is. Presidents and kings.
Hello, Sheriff.
Oh, but get out of here.
You remember me? My name is Pettibone.
Get out.
Here's your reprieve, Sheriff.
Did you hear me? Beat it.
You can't bribe me. Now, my wife says...
Hey, what is this?
Get out of here.
No, I won't. Here's your reprieve. I don't want to be a city sealer.
Pete, who is this man?
Well, I don't know, Fred. Get out.
Just a minute. Who was trying to bribe you?
They wouldn't take the reprieve.
What did I tell you? An unseen power.
Why, the man's insane.
Frame up.
Trying to hang an innocent man to win an election,
That's
huh?
a lie.
I never saw him before.
Say, you. What's your name?
Pettibone, Joe Pettibone. What's yours?
When did you deliver this reprieve, Pettibone?
Who did you talk to?
They started right in bribing me.
Who's they?
Them. Those two men.
Why, that's absurd on the face of it. He's talking like a child.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Why, he's insane or drunk or something. Why, if this unfortunate man, Williams, has really been reprieved, I personally am tickled to death. Aren't you, Pete?
Oh, sure. You'd hang your own mother to be reelected.
That's a horrible thing to say about anybody, Miss Johnson.
Well, never mind that now. Let's have your story, Mr. Pettibone.
Well, 19 years ago, I married Mrs. Pettibone.
Yes, well, you can skip all that.
Sheriff, this reprieve is authentic. Our Commonwealth has been spared the painful necessity of shedding blood.
Oh, get down off of the soapbox. Save that for the Tribune.
Pete, take those handcuffs off, my friend.
I was just going to.
Well, hurry up. I'm amazed at you doing a thing like that.
Well, I was only doing my duty. Nothing personal in it.
No, of course not. Of course not.
What did you say your name was?
Pettibone. Here's a picture of my wife.
Oh, yes, a very fine-looking woman.
She's good enough for me. But if my wife heard
I understand that perfectly, Mr. Pettibone. And as long as I am mayor...
Which ought to be about 3 hours more, I'd say.
Just long enough for us to put out a special edition asking for your recall.
And your arrest. You know, you little boys ought to get about 10 years apiece, I think.
Now, I wouldn't make any hasty decisions, Mr. Burns. You might run into a thumping big libel suit.
You're going to run into the governor.
Well, my old friend, the governor, and I understand each other perfectly.
Yes, so do I.
So do you what you who do. And now, Mr. Pettibone, if you'll come with us, we'll take you over to the warden's office and deliver this reprieve. Come along, Pettibone. So long, Walter.
So long, you crook.
Right this way.
Wait until those two future jailbirds read the Morning Post tomorrow.
That was a tight squeeze.
Hello, give me Duffy.
That was the worst jam we've been in a long time.
Yeah. What? Well, where is he? Well, get him.
Do you remember the time we stole old Lady Haggerty's stomach off the coroner's physician?
Yeah.
We proved she'd been poisoned.
Yeah.
We had to hide out for a week. Do you remember that? The Shoreland Hotel. That's how we happened.
Yeah, don't forget we could have gone to jail for that, too. You know that.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Yeah. You know, maybe you're right, Hildy. It's a bad business. You're better off out of it. You better get going.
Where'll I go?
To Bruce, of course.
Well, you know he's gone. He took the 9 o'clock train.
Well, just send him a wire and get on that train. He'll be waiting for you at the station when you get to Albany. Get going, Hildy.
Get going, Hildy. What is that with you?
Can't you understand? I'm doing something noble for once in my life. Now, go on, get out of here before I change my mind.
Walter, listen.
Go on, it's tough enough now.
Just a minute.
Go on, send the fellow a wire. He'll be waiting when you get there.
Oh, I get it. The same old act, isn't it? Trying to push me out of here, figuring that I'll be stupid enough to want to stay.
I know I deserve that, Hildy. Hello. Oh, wait a minute, Duffy. But this time you're wrong, Hildy. I made fun of Bruce and Albany and all that sort of thing. You know why?
Why?
Because I was jealous of him. Because I was sore at him for offering you the sort of life that I can't give you. That's what you want, isn't it?
Well, I could stay and do the story and take the train in the morning.
No. Forget it. Goodbye, dear, and good luck. Oh, hold on a second, Duffy.
I'll answer that. Hello, Hildy Johnson.
Hildy, this is Bruce.
Bruce?
Hildy, something awful has happened.
Oh, Bruce, not again. What jail are you in?
The 24th precinct.
But what for?
We're trying to pass counterfeit money.
What do you mean, counterfeit money? Where did you get it?
You gave it to me.
I did? Oh.
Hildy, I've got to get out of here.
Oh. Okay, I'll fix it up somehow.
Hey, Duffy, hang on.
Oh.
No, honey, don't cry, please. I didn't mean to make you cry. You never cried before.
I thought you were really sending me away to Bruce. I didn't know you had him locked up. I thought you were going to stand by and let me go off with Bruce and not do a thing about it.
Oh, go on. What do you think? I wasn't a chump.
I thought you didn't love me.
Well, what were you thinking with?
I don't know. Well, what are you standing there gawking for? We have to get him out of jail. Send Louis down and give him some honest money so he can go back to Albany where he belongs.
Sure. Hey, Duffy, tell Louis to stand by. Yeah, we're coming over to the office. No, don't worry about the story. Hildy's going to write it. No, she's not quitting. She never intended to. We're going to get married.
Can we go on a honeymoon this time, Walter?
Sure, honey. Hey, Duffy, you can be managing editor. No, not permanently, just for a couple of weeks while we're on our honeymoon.
Oh, Walter.
I don't know where we're going. Hey, Hildy, where are we going?
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, Duffy.
A whole 2 weeks, Walter?
What? I can't hear you, Duffy. Strike. What strike? In Albany? Oh, I can't ask. He'll be dispensed.
We'll spend our honeymoon in Albany.
Okay, Duffy. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Come on, Hildy, we've got to go to Albany. Say, I wonder if Bruce can put us up.
The curtain falls, and whatever the future of Hildy and her boss, I imagine it won't be dull. Now Claudette Colbert and Fred McMurray return to the microphone.
Yeah, it seems a little quiet here, CB.
No guns, no telephones, no sirens. How can you stand it, Fred?
If I ever acquire a newspaper, you two are hired. And instead of seeing a picture or listening to the radio for entertainment, I'll just go down to the office.
I wouldn't count too much on the profit, CB. Funny thing, though, the last time I played one of these reporter parts, it was in a picture with Claudette, the Gilded Lily.
And they tell me that Claudette, as a foreign correspondent, has a very sharp eye for news in Arise, My Love, that you just finished for Paramount.
Well, CB, this may not be news, but I have enjoyed coming back to the Lux Radio Theatre. And I'm still a staunch supporter of Lux soap. I think it's a grand complexion care, and I use it all the time. But it's possible you've heard me say that before.
That's something we can't hear too often about Lux soap, Claudette. Because we know it's true, and because it comes from you.
What's the prospect for next week, CB?
The prospect for next Monday, Fred, well, we're flying high. Our play is Wings of the Navy, and our stars are George Brent, Olivia de Havilland, and John Payne. It's an exciting drama of adventure in the air and romance on the ground. A story of heroism and sacrifice, with George Brent and John Payne as aviators, and Olivia de Havilland as the girl they both loved.
I remember the picture, CB, and I know you'll have a thrilling play next Monday night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. And in the words of one W. Winkler, orchids to both of you. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theatre presents George Brent, Olivia de Havilland, and John Payne in Wings of the Navy. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Heard in tonight's play were Arthur Q. Bryan as sheriff, Edward Marr as Louis, Lou Merrill as mayor, Chester Clute as Pettibone, Warren Ash as McHugh, Charles Seal as Murphy, Edwin Max as Endicott, Verna Felton as Mrs. Baldwin, Tony Hughes as Earl Williams, Sherman Nichols as Duffy, and Catherine Keyes and Hal Gerard. Fred McMurray is currently appearing on the screen in the Paramount picture Rangers of Fortune. Jack Carson is featured in the RKO picture Lucky Partners. His Girl Friday was based on The Front Page by Ben Heck and Charles MacArthur. The Scarlett O'Hara brooch, offered you by the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, is designed after one worn by Vivian Lee in Gone with the Wind, the Selznick International picture, produced by David O. Selznick and released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Our music is directed by Louis Silvers, and your announcer has been Melville Ruick.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theatre brings you Charles Lawton and Maureen O'Sullivan in This Land Is Mine with Edgar Barrier. Tonight, the Lux Radio Theatre comes to you from Hollywood as usual, but your producer speaks to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'm not far from the geographical center of the United States. In fact, right in the middle of the Lux Radio Theatre audience. I've come here to join the people of Arkansas and Little Rock in paying tribute to one of their own. The story of Dr. Wassell, with Gary Cooper as the screen hero, is having a formal opening here in Little Rock because Dr. Wassell was an Arkansas country doctor before romance and adventure called him halfway around the world. The Arkansas countryside is the scene of some of the picture, and perhaps it's the origin of the high courage that carried a good plain American to world fame. This is the kind of an occasion that reaffirms one's faith in America. This war belongs to the ordinary people of the world, and there are those in the darkened countries of Europe who carry on the fight, too. Tonight's drama is about these soldiers without uniform, the army of the underground, which waits for the greatest day of our time, the day of liberation. Our play is the RKO hit, This Land Is Mine. And we have the same distinguished artist you saw in the picture, Charles Lawton. And co-starring with Charles tonight is lovely Maureen O'Sullivan. I've looked forward to every new Lawton play or picture since I first saw Charles act 13 years ago. That was on a stage in London. And it was evident that night that a brilliant new star had found a place in the theater. Later, he came to America and gave a fine performance for me as Nero in The Sign of the Cross. Crossing the nation this week, I found a great interest in the inner workings of the LUX Radio Theatre, a curiosity about the way the wheels of radio drama go round. But one thing you all seem to understand is the fact that LUX makes the whole enterprise possible. There were questions about your favorite stars and requests for certain plays and pictures. Some of you even picked actual seats in this theater and visualized the play from an imaginary eighth-row center. Each time I make one of these trips, I feel a little closer to the people who gather with us on Monday night. And because Lux Flakes has stood for top performance in its field for so many years, I get quite a kick out of being greeted wherever I go as that Lux man. And now, across the country, we raise the curtain on the first act of This Land Is Mine, starring Charles Lawton as Albert Lorry and Maureen O'Sullivan as Louise Martin, with Edgar Barrier as Major Von Keller. In the gazetteer of war, the town in our play is without significance. Stalingrad or Lidice are names for the history books, Rotterdam and Coventry. It is enough to say our scene is somewhere in Europe. Nor will future generations identify the people of our play. Their names, too, in a world crammed with heroes and madmen, are only drops of water in a rushing river. We're concerned tonight only with what people did, with their capacities for glory and for shame. So easily, they might have been ourselves.
From the diary of Albert Lorry. I've been a failure. My 40 years have been full of fears and confusion. People, the world, and the minds of men have left me spent and ignorant. I'm a schoolteacher by profession. In this little town, I've found my refuge. Yes, refuge. Though the boys I teach tend to hoot and laugh at me, so apparent is my weakness of will. If I've never been completely happy, it is equally true I've never been completely unhappy. Resolute and enduring are my books. God has spared my mother. And there is Louise Martin. She's also a teacher. As long as she's here, nothing else matters.
From the diary of Albert Lorry, April 5th, 1941.
2 weeks ago, the Germans seized our town. They came without violence. It has become evident the Nazis wish to be friendly. Now, this morning, for instance, a German soldier knocked at our door. He left a proclamation freshly printed.
Well, what does it say? Read it, Albert.
All public offices will function as heretofore without German interference, including law enforcement and the school system. Mother, they let us alone. Did you hear that? The school system?
Yes, what else, Albert?
However, any incident directed against the forces of occupation will come under the direct jurisdiction of the Commandant, Major Von Keller. Please cooperate and help keep our civilian life free. Signed, Henry Manville. There.
All right. Finish your breakfast, Albert. You'll be late for school.
Yes, Mother.
I have a surprise for you, darling. Look.
Milk? How did you get it?
The doctor gave me a prescription.
Oh, are you sick?
Oh, have I ever been well? Ever since you were born.
Here, Mother, you drink.
No. You know I can't stand milk. But there's no reason why you shouldn't. What's that? I heard a noise.
It's probably just Louise's cat from next door.
She should keep her filthy cat at home. All night long.
Mother?
Under the door. Look.
It's just a paper, Mother. I'll get it.
Why don't they knock? Why do they sneak things under the door?
But it's nothing. It's only a...
Liberty. Oh. It says liberty.
Citizens. Unless the conquerors are driven out of our land, it means generations of slavery. We must resist. Let each of us say to himself, this land is mine.
Troublemakers.
This is dangerous, Mother. I'd better burn it.
In the kitchen. Quick. And put on shade. And someone makes me quick.
We have a visitor, Mother.
No.
It's just Louise's cat in our windowsill.
Chase him off. Chase him.
As soon as I burn the paper, Mother.
Just hurry, Albert. You'll be late.
Albert, good morning.
Morning, Paul.
That our cat you've got there?
Oh, so you have to run away. I've been looking all over for that cat.
Here, Louise.
She's probably been annoying your mother again. Now, go on. Shoot.
You're very fond of your cat, Louise. Paul, aren't you late for work?
Oh, just got through fixing my bicycle. Flat tires. I guess it'll hold till I get to the railroad yard.
We'll be late, too, Albert. Fine example to set for our pupils.
Wait a second. Look, Albert. Come for dinner tonight.
Yes, do. There'll be just us and George Lambert.
George is bringing the dinner. Pigeons. My boss is so crazy about Louise, he even chases pigeons for her.
Pigeons?
Sure. George has some traps on the roof of the freight office.
Will you come, Albert?
Oh, thank you. But my mother, you see, she doesn't like to be left alone. You know, she's not very well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, Albert, have you seen this?
Oh, Paul, don't be crazy.
Liberty. Yes, I burned our copy.
Watch out. Hide it. Quickly.
Why?
Can't you see, just turning the corner? 2 soldiers.
Oh, I can't hide this. Hey, Aunt.
Yeah?
Want to read something?
What is it?
Something that should interest you.
Here, let me see, Paul.
Here.
Where did you get this?
Under our front door.
We find many like this already, Paul. If you find any more, please tell us.
Sure.
You.
Yes, sir.
Any your house?
My house? Oh, no.
Come along, Carl. Thank you, Paul. Keep in touch with her.
Sure.
Paul, do you know these soldiers?
Well, what if I do? They're just doing their job.
And are you doing yours?
Look, why just pick on me? You don't say anything to George. Well, goodbye, you two.
Come on, Albert. Walk fast now.
Yes, Louise.
So I thought it best that I come here to school myself, Professor Sorel, and tell you about it.
And these books of mine must be burned, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I think it very wise if I take them. Juvenal, Tacitus, Voltaire, Plato's Republic.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We were told that Professor Sorel wanted...
Come in, Laurie, come in. Miss Martin, good morning. I'm just leaving. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye, Mr. Manville.
Is anything wrong?
It is beginning, Laurie. Our books must undergo alterations. History, geography, and literature. Pending the arrival of new books, you will go to your classrooms and have the children tear out certain pages from our present books.
Oh, why do they make us do this? Why don't they bring in German teachers and get it all over with?
Don't be upset, Louise. After all, school will continue.
Now, if you have pencils, please note the deletions. In your history books, Chapter 1, destroy pages 7 and 8.
7 and 8?
Pages 15 and 16, 21 and 22.
I was back in my classroom making the deletions when the air raid alarm suddenly shrieked and the fearful drone of approaching bombers filled our ears. The planes were British, and with each explosion I should have uttered a prayer of thanks. But instead, I became hysterical. Before 100 students, before Professor Sorel and Louise, I shook and I wept and I moaned. Well, the boys laughed and mocked me, but I just couldn't help it. I can't stand violence and noise. I'm a coward and I'm a weakling. And now they all know it. Even she. Well, after the raid, Professor Sorel sent for me.
Close the door, Laurie.
I know what you're going to say, sir. I'm ridiculous. I'm stupid, but
These raids are new to us, Laurie. After a while, we'll get accustomed to them.
I'll never change.
Would you like to transfer to a safer district?
Oh, no, sir.
Because of Miss Martin?
Yes, sir.
I see. Does she know how you feel?
No.
Oh, goodness, I thought you were a confirmed bachelor. Sit down, Laurie. You know, in a time like this, I believe we're the most important people in the country.
Yes, sir.
This morning we were told to mutilate our books, but we contain those books, and they can't destroy the truth without destroying us. Oh, we may seem weak to the children now. We have no weapons, we don't march, but it's part of our fight to teach the children to admire us, so we can really lead them. Maybe we'll win, Laurie, or maybe we'll be shot.
Professor?
Oh, no, my friend, I don't ask you to die. But do you think these things over?
Professor Sorel.
In here, Victor. What is it?
There's been a wreck at the railroad yard, supply chain.
So, it begins already.
They'll take hostages now, even if it was an accident.
Hostages?
You hear, Laurie? Now we've got to be strong.
when the wreck occurred, Paul Martin, that's Louise's brother, was on duty in the switch tower, and Major Von Keller questioned him there.
The whole cable is broken, sir.
I see. You know nothing about it, of course.
Oh, no, sir. It seemed all right when I pulled it just before the wreck.
The cable was cut, Martin.
Yes, sir.
But as far as you and I know, it was an accident.
Accident?
Yes. You understand?
Yes.
Well, later in the afternoon, Louise hurried to the railroad yard. She went to George Lambert's office. It was only natural she should go to George. They were engaged to be married.
Oh, what a mess, darling. I'm afraid I'm in for some trouble. After all, I'm the superintendent.
Thank goodness no one was killed.
But I can't understand how it happened. The chances are Von Keller will hold me accountable.
Oh, George, I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm selfish, but I was thinking about myself. Something happened at home this afternoon that I can't understand.
What, Louise?
Well, I went to the market. I was gone nearly 2 hours, and when I got home, the house had been searched.
Oh, excuse me, Lambert.
Oh, please come in, sir. Major Von Keller, Miss Martin.
I wanted to talk with you alone, George. Well, I'll see you later.
Oh, please, Miss Martin. Lambert, she wants to ask you about some pages she lost.
Not lost, Major. Stolen.
Pages? What pages?
We had suggested some slight changes in the text of our school books, Lambert. Miss Martin made the deletions, but she unwisely took the pages home and we confiscated them. You see, we protect the people we like from their own indiscretion.
I found out what I wanted to ask you, George. Oh, goodbye. I'll see you tonight.
Oh, forget it, Lambert. We have more important things to discuss. I have decided that the wreck was an accident.
Well, I wouldn't call it an accident, Major.
Neither would I. It was obviously sabotage.
I knew as soon as they began circulating that illegal newspaper, Liberty, that we'd have trouble. Find the men who print it, and you'll find your saboteurs.
I prefer not to use the word saboteur.
What?
If we call it sabotage, I shall have to take hostages. And I shall have to shoot the hostages later if the guilty are not found. And once you begin with that, you're sitting on a keg of dynamite.
Then what do we do about it?
We keep our ears open. You are in touch with all the men who work here.
You think they'd tell me anything? They regard me as an enemy.
For a while yet, they will continue to regard me, too, as an enemy.
Well, if I thought you were, I wouldn't be doing what I am.
I am here to help men like you to rebuild your own country. Remember what Germany was like before the Fuhrer? But the people were not bad. They were only waiting to be told the truth. And German blood will flow until that truth is given to all the world.
Believe me, Major, I want the new order for my country, but I must be honest. We don't like the occupation.
But neither do I. Well, I'm glad we understand each other. We will both work to end this war, and then will your country and men like you regain your honor.
Yes, it's the only way. It's the only way.
Today, 10 days after the wrecking of the supply train, there was a sudden raid by the German intelligence. 4 men printing copies of the illegal newspaper were seized. A crowd quickly gathered on the street, and soon Von Keller's car arrived. With him was our mayor. They watched the Nazis take their prisoners, and then, as they started to drive away, someone threw a bomb. 2 Nazi soldiers were killed. The guards caught a fleeting glimpse of a man on the rooftops across the street. They shot, but the man escaped.
Paul? Paul, is that you?
Yes?
Oh, Paul, there's been trouble. Did you hear the shooting?
Yes, I heard it.
Oh, someone threw a bomb and... Oh,
Nothing, Louise. It barely scratched my arm.
you. It was you.
Yes.
Oh, Paul. Paul, why didn't you tell me?
I was going to tell you sometime soon, Louise. Oh, this bench. Do you mind?
Oh, Paul. Paul and I
You
thought that
thought
you
I
were-
was with them.
Oh.
No, it was simply more convenient for people to think so, Louise. I've fought them since the day they came here.
That wreck at the railroad yard? That was you, too?
That was easy.
Oh, Paul, if they shot you, that means they saw you. They recognized
They
you.
weren't close enough. Only one person saw me. Next door, Mrs. Laurie. I cut across their yard. I was holding my arm, but I don't think she made any special notice of it.
Paul, I'm so proud of you. I can believe in you again. Paul, my brother.
All right, now. Just take it easy and get this bandage on.
He got away? Wasn't even recognized?
That's right, Mayor. Well, have you any suggestions? Remember, the attempt was made upon your life as well as mine.
What about the printers you arrested?
I'm afraid you don't understand your own people. Well, we had them in Germany, too. They will die, but they will tell nothing. Well, we shall have to take hostages. I hate to begin it, but 2 German soldiers have been killed.
Hostages?
For the train wreck, my superiors accepted apologies. This time, they want hostages. Oh, here is a copy of the paper we found on the printing press. You should study it. It has a classical flavor. Listen. They make a desert, and they call it peace. Now, who wrote that, Mayor?
That writing shows scholarship.
Wait a minute. Those books.
Books? What books?
The books you found on Professor Sorel's desk. Yes, here they are. Plato, Voltaire, Juvenal, Tacitus, Tacitus. Ubi solitudinem faciunt pacem appella. You recognize it? Greek? It's Latin. Tacitus is referring to the Roman occupation. They make a desert, and they call it peace. There, we've got it.
You've got what? Surely you don't suspect Sorrel. He'd never make an attempt on my life.
Of course not, my dear Mayor. Of course not.
No, stop it. Get off, please. Let me alone.
Boys, what are you doing? Answer me. Very well, get back to your desk. I'm very disappointed in you. This is a place of culture, and the first requisite of culture is good manners. Edmund Sorrel?
Yes, sir?
What's that on your face? Isn't that a letter, J?
They say I'm a Jew.
Who did it?
I don't know, sir.
Go to the washroom, Edmund, and clean your face.
Mr. Lorry, please come quickly.
Miss Martin, what is it?
Professor Sorrel, they're arresting him. I heard you. My father.
But they can't take him. They can't.
Father.
Professor Sorrel. Professor Sorrel.
Get back. Stand aside.
It's all right, Laurie. It's all right.
Don't leave us, Professor. We can't run the school without you.
Dignity, Laurie. You'll have to run the school now.
Get away from that door.
Let go. You can't take him. I won't let you.
Oh, I warned you.
Ow!
Father.
It's all right, son. Don't worry. I'll come back. Goodbye.
Take them away.
Edmund, my father. You're a brave boy, Edmund. Albert?
They took him away, and I did nothing.
Oh, you did all you could do, Albert, and you weren't afraid.
They took him away, and I did nothing. In just a moment, Charles Lawton and Maureen O'Sullivan return in Act Two of This Land Is Mine. Now that so many husbands and fathers are being called into the service, many families are doubling up. In a Howard family, for instance, the married daughter, Jean, has come home and is unpacking in her old room.
Here, let me help you. You go ahead with the trunk, and I'll unpack your suitcase. Let's see now. Where do you want your slips, dear? Second drawer, I think, Mother, in the middle. Why, Jean, what in the world happened to these? There's hardly any color left in them. I know, and I haven't had them very long either. Goodness, even the straps are frayed. I'll see if I can put some new ones on for you. Oh, thanks, Mums, but don't bother. I'll have to get some new slips. Gracious, child. These days, you ought to take better care of your things. By the way, I put some Lux flakes in the bathroom so you can do your undies upstairs. Oh, I'm not fussy. Anything will do. Oh, you mean you haven't been using Lux? Well, no. So, that's it. Strong soaps aren't fit for these nice things, Jeannie. If my grocer gets out of Lux flakes, I just keep asking until he gets some more in. I wouldn't take chances with anything else.
Actual washing tests prove Mother is right. Slips and nightgowns, which were given Lux Care, were color fresh, lovely, after 30 luxings. But harsh wash day methods left the same kind of slips badly faded. Straps were frayed. Seams pulled out, too. Now, when it's so important to make things last, don't risk rough handling, too hot water, strong soaps. As we say it with music, undies lead a long life when they lead a Lux life. Now, here's Act Two of This Land Is Mine, starring Charles Lawton as Albert Lorry and Maureen O'Sullivan as Louise, with Edgar Barrier as Major Von Keller. From the diary of Albert Lorry. Professor Sorrel was not the only hostage. They took 7 other men and 2 women. I returned to the school. I couldn't think. I simply dismissed all classes and went home. Well, Louise tried pleading with Von Keller, but that was no use. And then she went to the railroad yards to George them.
Von Keller says they'll all be shot, George. Shot, unless the guilty man gives himself up. George, maybe if you saw Von Keller. He likes you.
He said that?
He said he'd be worried about me if it weren't that I were going to be married to a very reliable man.
I see.
Oh, George, I'm so frightened. I don't know what to do.
Look, darling, nothing will happen for at least a week, and by then they'll find the man who threw the bomb, and all the hostages will be released.
But you don't understand. You see, the man who... Oh, George, I'm in such an awful spot.
Well, whoever it was, if he has a spark of courage or decency in him, he'll get himself up and save these innocent people.
I think he's a criminal?
Louise, we must face facts. If one of us wants to resist openly and get killed, that's foolish, but, well, it's courageous.
But the man who secretly resists with acts of sabotage is a coward. He escapes and the innocent die.
You mean anyone who resists them should give himself up?
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, but that's surrender.
And we'd have peace. What becomes of a nation if its citizens all die?
Professor Sorrell isn't afraid to die.
But he's old. We are young.
I know young men who aren't afraid to die.
Nothing is worth the sacrifice of your life, Louise. We have everything before us. Love, marriage, children.
No. Please, George.
Louise.
Oh, George. I was in love with you once. Perhaps I'm still in love with you. But as you were talking just now, I felt as though I'd never looked at you before.
Darling, you're upset.
Oh,
You don't...
I know I'm upset. But this is the first time you've been completely frank with me. Everything that's happened, I'm so confused. I haven't found the answer yet to the things you've said, but I know you're wrong. Oh, George, don't be angry, but I've got to leave now. I've got to leave.
2 days later, Louise invited me to have dinner with her and Paul. We waited for Paul to come home, but he was very late.
I don't understand. What's keeping him?
Louise, I have something to tell you.
You're worried, aren't you? Is it your mother? Oh, I know she doesn't like me. She didn't want you to come here, did she?
Well,
Oh, I
don't
understand,
know.
Albert. She's old and she's lonely. Look, you don't have to stay. You can go home.
Thank you, Louise. Louise, I must speak to you.
Yes?
I know I'm not young, and you're so very young in my mind. You know, I remember the day you graduated, and I was already teaching then. And I remember the day you first came back to teach a class, and I was so worried about you, and so happy when I saw how the children loved you.
Oh.
And now we're the only ones left in the school, and I feel so very close to you.
What's that?
Must be an air raid.
Oh, but there aren't any planes. It sounded as if it came from the railroad yard.
Paul!
Paul, what is...
Listen very closely. Sit down at the table out there. We've all been here having dinner. Understand? I've been here for an hour.
But I don't understand what...
They'll all be searching here any minute. You've got to help me, Albert. If they ask questions, you and Louise and I have been having dinner since I came home an hour ago.
Put a little of this on your plate, as though you'd eaten the rest.
Good.
I was going to go home.
Here, have a cigarette.
But I don't smoke.
It's easy. Just breathe in.
Come in.
Okay, we have to search the place. That's you, Hans? What's wrong? What were those explosions? Ammunition train blown up. Anyone come in here? Oh, not a soul. And you? You live here?
No.
What are you doing here, then?
Oh, he's just Mr. Larry from next door. He was having dinner with us.
I don't smoke.
He's the schoolmaster. I just gave him his first cigarette. Answer me, schoolmaster. How long have you been here?
6 o'clock.
Who else was here?
While Louise was here, I mean, Miss Martin.
And my brother, Paul.
I'm asking him. Who was here?
He was here.
You're sure about that?
Yes.
And you, Paul? You're sure he was here all this time? Sure. He's sweet on my sister.
Albert!
That's my mother. I live next door. Please, I must go.
Why not? But we'll go together. Go along, schoolmaster.
Get out of my house. Where do you think you are? In Germany?
I told you we have to search all these houses. What's in this cabinet?
Get your dirty hands off. Oh, my best china. You love it. You beast. Look what you did. Albert!
I'm sorry, lady.
Mother?
What's the matter here?
Albert, my best china. Look, he's nasty.
No, mother.
The brute, the dirty brute.
Over. Yes, sir. Are you satisfied, madame? Do you wish me to strike him again?
No, you're a brute, too. Get out. Both of you. Get out. Albert.
After the blowing up of the ammunition train, they took more hostages. At breakfast time, they came for me. My poor mother fought them like a tigress. They pushed her, they knocked her down, but they couldn't stop her. Word came to me even in prison of how during the next 3 days she stormed outside the mayor's office demanding that he see her, but it was useless. The mayor said he was too busy.
I can't help it if the mayor wouldn't see you. This is the railroad office.
Tell Mr. Lambert it's Mrs. Lorry. I demand to see Mr. Lambert.
Once and for all, Mr. Lambert is very busy. He cannot see you.
Is he in there?
Yes, he's in there.
Then watch.
Really, Mrs. Lorry.
George Lambert, you listen to me.
You're clean, madame.
Thank you. You know what they've done to my poor Albert.
I'm very sorry.
Sorry, you're going to do something about it.
Oh, come in, Mrs. Lorry. Sit down.
You sit down and listen to me. If the guilty man is found, all hostages are released. Is that so?
Of course.
Then pay attention. The day that bomb was thrown, I was at my window. I saw a man climb over the fence and come across my yard. I recognized the man. He was holding his arm. That man
That's the story as Mrs. Lorry told it to me only half an hour ago.
Well, you've done your duty. You can expect to be well rewarded if Paul Martin is the man.
I don't want a reward, Mayor. Believe me, this was very difficult for me to do.
You're saving lives. Laurie's life. Sorrell's, all of them.
Sorrell's a radical. They won't release him, and you know it. The thing that makes me boil is how Paul fooled me all the time, making friends with a German. It's one thing I cannot stand, hypocrisy.
They call me a hypocrite. But I'm not. I collaborate, yes, and you know why. I'm mayor of this town. My duty to defend it. Where can they find this fellow, Martin?
What? Oh, he's on the night shift tonight. He should be at the switch tower at 9 o'clock.
Hello? Operator? I want to speak to Major Von Keller.
At the time, of course, I was unaware of George Lambert's visit with Mayor Manville, so I was quite startled when the next morning the guards opened my cell and told me to go home. As I stood knocking at our front door, I felt important and powerful. For one foolish moment, I convinced myself that I was too valuable to the Nazis to keep in jail.
Oh, my boy. My boy.
Morning, Mother.
Oh, my poor boy. Just look at
What's
you.
the matter? I'm just fine.
I hadn't slept for 3 nights thinking of you in that horrible prison.
Very nice, Mother. Professor Sorrell was there, and we talked all the time. When the German soldiers tried to listen, we talked in Latin.
Just like a man. Talk, 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 and let the women worry.
Mother, I'm worried, too, about Professor Sorrell. They didn't release him. I was the only one they let go. Why did they let me go, Mother?
Oh, they aren't fools. They know you're needed at the school.
Professor Sorrell is needed at the school more than I am.
Now, don't ask questions. They'll let him out. Hurry now, my darling. Wash up.
Oh, first I must go and tell Louise. Paul and Louise.
No.
Mother, I must tell her that I'm free. It'll make her very happy.
No, Albert, no. Don't leave me.
Mother.
I don't feel well, and you can't go out on the street looking the way you do.
Now, Mother, I've just come through the street, and Paul and Louise live right next door. I'll be back in a minute.
No, Albert. Oh.
Morning, Louise. You see, I'm free. They had to let me go.
I see.
Well, where's Paul?
You coward. You traitor.
Louise.
You ask me where Paul is? Paul is dead. They shot him. That's why you're free.
Paul is dead?
Oh, we knew you were weak, but I told Paul you'd never tell. I told him we could trust you. How much do they pay you, or do they only give you your life back?
Louise!
Oh, don't try to lie. You're the only one who knew. Now get out. Aren't you going to eat?
Paul's dead. She thinks I'm phoned on. She despises me.
She's mixed up in it, too, just like that brother was. He was to blame for putting you in prison.
Paul is dead.
And you're free, thank God.
I've got to go back to her. I've got it.
No, Albert. You might as well know now. I'm the one who told.
Told? Told what?
Well, I saw him sneak home the day that bomb was thrown. And I saw him climb in the window the night you left me alone for that girl.
Did you, my own mother, tell that to the German?
I told George Lambert.
George Lambert?
Yes. George is your friend, Albert.
George Lambert.
Albert, where are you going?
Let go of me. Let go.
Good morning, Lambert. Now, what's the matter with you? You look as though you had indigestion, or didn't you sleep well last night?
Look out of the window. There, by the shed. That's where he fell. They shot him there.
Now, sit down, my friend, and don't worry. Your sister will never know. We keep our secrets.
She broke our engagement days ago.
Now, she'll be lonely. She'll make up with you.
Have you released all the hostages?
By no means.
But you promised to.
Only that fool schoolmaster Laurie. 1 for 1. A fair trade, good business. Well, Martin's funeral is tomorrow, Lambert.
Yes, I know.
Many people will be afraid to attend. But you will go. She will admire you for risking my displeasure. And when you take her home, she'll want to talk. She knows who the accomplices were. And you know the way to my office.
Do you think I'd do that?
I'm sure you will, Lambert. You're too intelligent not to. Good morning, my friend. Good day, Major Von Keller. Oh, Mr. Lambert.
Yes?
Oh, here, sir. Another fine pigeon, sir. We caught it in the trap in the loft. Perhaps you'd like to have it for your dinner, sir?
Give it to me.
Yes.
You can go now. Go to lunch and close the door.
Yes, sir.
A pigeon for my dinner. No. Somewhere out there is freedom for you, little bird. How soft you are. Like her hair. Fly away. Fly. A note. I should leave a note. There's so much I'd like to say to her. No, it's no use. No use.
Mr. Lambert? Mr. Lambert.
What have you done? Mr. Lambert, the gun.
Mr. Lambert, I heard a shot. Mr. Lambert,
You shot him? No. I just came. I came to see him. As I opened the door, there was a shot, and I found him with his gun. Murder. You killed him. Murder!
We pause now for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. After a brief intermission, we'll hear Charles Lawton and Maureen O'Sullivan in Act 3 of This Land Is Mine. Now, here's Bill, home on furlough.
Gotta pinch myself, honey. Am I really having dinner with you tonight instead of 500 other guys?
Well, we got to celebrate.
Well, gosh, honey, I'd just like to stay home. That cooking of yours is tops.
Anything you say, soldier. Tell you what, we'll do it with all the trimmings. Silver candlesticks, our best china, and we won't worry now how many dishes we'll have to wash.
Say, maybe we better go out after all. Can't let you get dishpan hands while I'm home.
I like that. Anything wrong with my hands right now?
Not a thing, baby. But I guess you haven't been washing many dishes lately.
Every single night.
Oh, I don't get it. You used to talk a lot about how rough it made your hands.
Oh, but it's all different now.
Something new?
Well, you know how I park in the bathroom luxing stockings and undies every night? Now I'm using Lux for dishes, too. That's new for me.
So what does it do?
So I don't get horrid dishpan hands anymore.
No kidding.
Uh-huh. They got all soft and smooth again in no time. And that's all I did. Change to Lux.
Smart girl, my wife.
Yes, it's true. Smart wives are changing from strong soaps to Lux Flakes for dishes. See for yourself how easy it is to change dishpan hands to Lux hands. Lux is thrifty, too. It goes further, actually does up to twice as many dishes as any of 10 other leading soaps tested. Change to Lux Flakes for your dishes. Now the curtain rises on the third act of This Land Is Mine, starring Charles Lawton and Maureen O'Sullivan, with Edgar Barrier.
From the diary of Albert Lorry. I'd been found in the office with a gun in my hand, and on the floor, dead, was George Lambert. I was charged with murder. The court was jammed. Louise was there, dressed in black in memory of Paul, her dead brother, for whose death she understandably held me responsible. Now I was being tried for killing the man to whom she was once engaged.
The prosecution will continue, please.
Gentlemen of the jury, the murder of George Lambert by Albert Lorry has been proved by the witnesses who found him in the office, by the gun he held, and by one of the oldest motives in criminal history, jealousy. You may find it preposterous to believe that a man of Albert Lorry's age, of such a weak and timid character, could become so enamored of a young woman as to commit murder to dispose of a rival. But Lorry was in love with Louise Martin, the fiancée of the man he murdered. Prosecution rests, Your Honor.
Mr. Lorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
This court deeply regrets your continued refusal to be defended by counsel. You may speak now, but be clear and to the point.
Thank you, Your Honor. All I wish to say I've written down. The paper's here in my pocket. I'm sorry. Sure, I had the paper. That's all I've been doing in my cell, writing it all down.
Well, take it out and read it.
It seems that's impossible, Your Honor. My pocket. There's a hole in it. The paper must have dropped out. I'll do my best, however, if you'll excuse me for speaking badly. I've never been able to speak in public. My only defense is the truth. Well, the truth is that I wanted to kill George Lambert. But I don't think I could have. You see, I'm too weak. I'm a coward. Everybody knows that, even the prosecutor. Oh, I'm not a coward inside my heart. I have brave dreams. I'm not afraid inside of me to commit murder. But when I face realities, I'm lost. I'm a coward. You know, it's strange, but we're two people, all of us, inside and outside. George Lambert was two men. He, too, couldn't face reality. But he was different from me. Lambert was strong outside and weak inside. Inside, he was a coward. And when this honest coward had to face what the other George, the brave George, had done, he couldn't stand it.
So he killed himself. In a way, of course, I am responsible for his death through my mother's love for me. The prosecutor saw fit to mention the name of Miss Martin. I'm sorry about that. But as long as he has singled you out, Louise, perhaps you'll not think too harshly of me if I speak directly to you. Louise, you thought I informed on Paul. It was my mother. To save me, she told George Lambert. Lambert went to the mayor, and he in turn went to Major Von Keller, and Paul was killed.
I object. The accused has no right to seize on this occasion to slander Mayor Mandel.
Your Honor, if I'm stopped now, how can anyone here believe that our civil courts are dealing out justice, as the official newspaper insists?
Laurie, I'm sorry, but... Proceed, Laurie.
George Lambert and Mayor Manville were quite alike. They took the side of the powerful men. They found they got on better that way. They learned even to admire them.
Your Honor, it's intolerable that the accused should exploit this courtroom to voice dangerous political opinions.
Maybe these things are political, sir, but they're the basis of my defense.
This is a court of justice, Your Honor. Can the prisoner be permitted to slander the name of his victim?
Is this a free court, Your Honor?
If the accused insists upon this kind of defense, I request the permission to call in a new witness.
What new witness?
Mayor Henry Mandel.
Has the accused any objection?
No, not at all, sir.
Very well. This session stands adjourned until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
The guards found the speech which I had written and lost. It was brought to my cell that evening by a very important man, Major Von Keller.
Well, Laurie, from all accounts, you did very well in court today without this speech.
Thank you, sir, but I've decided not to use it.
Laurie, I was mistaken about you. You're a man of real courage. I was a fool not to realize it sooner.
Oh, no. No, I'm not.
Cigarette?
Hmm? Oh, yes. It's my second one.
And the light.
Thank you.
You made a great mistake in court today, Laurie. You called yourself a coward, but you quickly disproved it by what you later said. Now they know you killed Lambert.
But I didn't.
And I believe you. It all makes so much sense. I remember now how strangely Lambert looked when I left him that morning. And the clerk was just coming in with a pigeon. Well, the plan of action becomes suddenly most clear. Lambert was despondent because of losing Miss Martin. The police will shortly discover a suicide note. And we can handle the jury, and you'll be acquitted.
Oh.
Yes. There will be no need for you to say another word in court.
Did they find a suicide note?
You are a poet, Laurie, a poet.
I don't understand why you're trying to save my life.
I like you.
And you don't want me to say anything more in court.
It's a peculiar situation, Laurie. We Germans could readily take over the courts, but we prefer to collaborate, to give freedom to the nations we have defeated. But freedom must be limited by the necessities of war. We ask you to speak no more. A very small sacrifice, you will agree, when we are still sacrificing our lives for the future happiness of the world.
You mean I was right in what I said about Lambert and the mayor?
You're right. Of course you are right. The honest Lamberts, the dishonest Manvilles, we find them in every country we invade. They are waiting for us in England. They will be waiting for us also in America.
You believe that, Major?
It is a certainty. What is England but a lot of old ladies wearing their grandfather's leather breeches?
And America?
Very spectacular, very childish. A charming cocktail of the Irish and the Jews.
I see. Could I have another light for my cigarette?
Certainly. Laurie, I'm glad you've decided to live and to be a free man. You have a great duty, the regeneration of youth. Make them ready for the world of tomorrow, Laurie. Believe me, it will be a fine world.
All night, I sat in my cell and pondered over what Von Keller had said. At dawn, I was sitting with my head in my hands when I heard marching footsteps in the prison yard. I looked out through the iron bars. The soldiers were leading 8 men and 2 women against a wall. Among them was Professor Sorrell. I screamed to him. I shouted his name. At last he glanced up at me and he smiled. He waved his hand to me. I saw his lips move, but what he said, I don't know.
Aim!
Professor Sorrell!
All right, Mr. Prosecutor, you may call your new witness.
It pleases the court, it will not be necessary. New evidence has been found.
What new evidence?
Just found, Your Honor. This note in the handwriting of the late George Lambert. It saves us from a serious miscarriage of justice. because it clearly indicates that Lambert intended to commit suicide.
Let me have that note.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Excuse me, sir. That note's a forgery. I know all about it. Major von Keller told me last night.
Quiet, you fool.
Do you realize what you're saying, Laurie?
It's out of his mind, Your Honor. The man's insane.
No, I'm not insane, Your Honor. The prosecutor wrote that note himself. I think he's trying to save my life.
Go on.
I learned last night that I'm a very lucky man. That this is the only place left in my country where a man can still speak out.
Your Honor, I request that the courtroom be cleared.
The prosecutor's afraid. He wants to deprive me of my last chance to be heard. I know I'm a condemned man. I know I must die. May I speak, Your Honor? Or are you afraid, too?
Keep talking, Mr. Laurie.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, last night I had a moment of weakness. Yes, I wanted to live. I had very good reasons for wanting to live. Major von Keller told me beautiful things about the future of this world they're building. And I almost believed him. But this morning, I looked out through bars and I saw his beautiful new order at work. 8 men and 2 women were shot because they still believed in liberty. Among them was Professor Sorrell. He said something to me I couldn't hear, but I think he was telling me what to do. I knew then that I had to die. And the strange thing is, it made me happy. Those 10 people died because of Paul Martin. But they didn't blame Paul. They were proud of him. Paul was a soldier, without glory, but in a wonderful cause. I see now that sabotage is the only weapon left to a defeated people. We must stop saying that sabotage is wrong, that it doesn't pay. It does pay. It makes us suffer, starve, and die. But though it increases our misery, it will shorten our slavery. That's a hard choice, I know. But even at this moment, more German troops are coming to this town because of what Paul Martin did. And the more troops they have to leave here, the less there are in the fighting fronts. But first we have to fight ourselves. Yes, any occupation in any land is only possible because the people have been corrupt. And I accuse myself first. For my own comfort and security, I made no protest against the mutilation of truth in our school books. My mother got me extra food and milk. Now, in this courtroom now, are you merchants of this town, you've given us the black market. Business is better than ever. Money's plentiful. Money that the Germans print themselves, and with it, you're buying up the town. I don't blame you for wanting to become rich. But you should blame yourselves for making the occupation possible. Because you cannot do these things without playing straight into the hands of the Germans. That's why I know the jury must condemn me to die. Not because I killed George Lambert, which I didn't, but because I've tried to tell the truth. And the truth cannot be allowed to exist under the occupation. Officially, you'll find me guilty of murder. But don't worry. Even if you were to acquit me, the enemy would take me and put me against that same stone wall, and you too. They can find any reason to take hostages. Oh, there is one final charge I must answer to, and I'm very guilty. Yesterday, I was ashamed when the prosecutor accused me of loving Louise Martin. I've always loved her secretly, but now I'm not ashamed. I'm proud. And I feel quite young. No doubt it's because I'm going to die. You know, it's a very strange thing. Last night, Major von Keller told me I wasn't a coward. I think maybe he was right, and I'm not the only one. This town is full of courage. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be born and die here. Thank you, Your Honor.
Gentlemen of the jury, you will retire and arrive at a just verdict.
We have already agreed upon the verdict, Your Honor. We find the accused not guilty.
She wept for me, Louise. She kissed me. And with my mother, we walked home together. They walked on the streets, and I walked on the stars. Well, it's morning again, and I'm ready to leave for school. This undoubtedly is the last entry I shall ever write in my diary. They're certain to come to me soon. Good morning, young men. Would you please sit down? Boys, I don't know how much time I have, but if this is to be a short lesson, I think I've found the best book. It was given to me by Professor Sorrell. Maybe it'll be burnt soon. But if it remains in your memories, it can't be destroyed. It was written in a night of enthusiasm 150 years ago, and it's called A Declaration of the Rights of Man. Article 1, all men are born and remain free and equal in rights. Article 2, the purpose of all political parties is the safeguarding of the natural and inalienable rights of man. These rights are liberty, property security, and resistance to tyranny. Article 3, the principle of all governments resides... Yes?
Come with us. You're under arrest.
One moment, gentlemen, please. The principle of all government resides in the nation itself. No group, no individual can exercise any authority that does not expressly emanate from the people.
I said you will come with us.
Well, I must go now, boys. Goodbye.
Albert, my dear.
Please, thank you, my darling. Please, don't cry. Would you tell me, Mother, and remember that I am happy? I am completely happy.
Let go, madam.
Oh, no.
Let him go.
Albert.
Goodbye, citizens.
Down, boys. Article 4. Liberty consists in freedom to do all that does not harm others. Article 5. The law has the right to forbid only those things which are harmful to society. Article 6. The law is the expression of the will of the people. All citizens have the right to assist.
Our stars return for their curtain calls in just a moment. Now, here's Libby Collins with an interesting news item she found the other day.
Well, it seems that some wax landing in England nearly created an international incident by wearing sheer hosiery. Of course, it was rayon, but it was so good-looking that the clothes-ration British women thought the American girls were wearing silk stockings.
Well, Libby, I don't blame them. I can't tell the difference. They all look pretty good to me.
Yes, today's rayons are as sheer-looking and flattering as many pre-war silk stockings. And, of course, they need the same care you gave silk. Gentle Lux care after every wearing. Takes practically no time at all. And if you squeeze stockings in the same suds you've used for undies, you don't waste a bit of your precious Lux slate.
Luxing saves elasticity, so stockings give under strain instead of breaking easily into runs. In fact, actual strain tests proved Lux cuts down runs in rayon. Helps you get twice the wear from every pair. Lux stockings lasted twice as long as stockings rubbed with cake soap or washed with a strong soap.
And don't forget to let rayons dry thoroughly, 24 to 48 hours.
Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars. Mr. DeMille in Little Rock, Arkansas, and our stars on the stage of the Lux Radio Theatre in Hollywood.
If you've all enjoyed tonight's play as much as I have, you'll want to join me in calling Charles Lawton and Maureen O'Sullivan back to the footlights for a curtain call.
Thank you, C.B. This has been rather a gala occasion for me.
An anniversary of some kind, Charles?
No, I've just had my hair cut.
Oh.
You honor us.
C.B., if you'd gone without a haircut for 6 months, you'd appreciate it. Or on second thoughts, if my memory serves me correctly, maybe you wouldn't notice.
Fortunately, my hair hasn't mattered in 40 years.
I suppose your long coiffure was for a picture, Charles?
Yes, for the Canterville Ghost of MGM Marine. I play the ghost. I slip through keyholes and all that sort of thing, you know.
You're the most substantial ghost I ever met, Charles.
By the way, C.B., this is the first play I've ever acted in where the producer was a ghost. We'll have to take your word for it that you really are in Arkansas. When do you open the story of Dr. Wassel?
Wednesday, Charles. And it'll be a double premiere in 2 theaters. Dr. Wassel is here in Little Rock with me, and his hometown has made him a present of the city. It's a real hero's homecoming.
Our very best wishes for the premiere, Mr. DeMille. Will you be back here next week?
Yes, and in time for rehearsals, Maureen. Next Monday night, our play is the universal comedy success, Appointment for Love. And our stars will be Paul Lucas and Olivia de Havilland. This is the gay love story of a famous playwright and a woman doctor who takes the scientific approach to romance. With Paul Lucas, the Academy Award winner, as the playwright, and Olivia de Havilland as the doctor, Appointment for Love is an appointment for a delightful evening.
That's a date, C.B. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night from all of us out here in the audience. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theatre presents Olivia de Havilland and Paul Lucas in Appointment for Love. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Arkansas.
Here's a patriotic way to get more red ration points. Just save used fats and turn them into your butcher regularly. He'll give you 2 red points for every pound. Keep a tin can near your sink for table scraps containing fat. Melt them down once a week. This fat, plus drippings and the grease from the broiler or frying pan, is just what our government needs. Turn it in just as soon as your salvage tin is full. The fat you save will help give our fighting men the material and medicines they need. Always put fats in a tin can, any size, never a glass container. Heard in tonight's play were Regina Wallace as the mother, Dennis Green as George, Ralph Lewis as...